get to a certain page that I read.
I'm going to call this meeting to order. Today is Tuesday, June the 2nd. We're at 207 East King Street, City Hall. Regular meeting time at 5:30 p.m. This meeting is held in person and live streamed on YouTube channel at the City of Kinston. Available for viewing on KTV, the local government channel 2. At this time, we'll call Pastor Darnell Whitfield from the Pathway Out Christian Center for prayer. Pastor Whitfield.
Good evening to everyone. First of all, please forgive my voice. I'm a little squeaky today, but we're going to pray anyway. Thank you, Lord. Let's bow our head before our Father. Father, in the name of Jesus, we give you all glory and all praise, Lord God. And as I stand here, I pray for my fellow citizens of Kinston. I pray for the counselors, Lord God, and everybody else that's in these chambers this evening, Lord God, because you know what? We need you. We need you something serious. Because, Lord God, we can't function without you, whether we believe it or not. But, Lord God, we cannot do anything without you. So, Lord God, we're leaning and depending on you. These glorious days that go by, Lord God, we need you to lead and guide us into all things. Our counseling members, Lord God, got a great responsibility that's on their back. And sometimes, Lord God, they don't know what to do or where to go or what to say. And so, Lord God, we lift them up before you in the name of Jesus. And, Lord God, I just pray that you, through the Holy Ghost, will give them godly decisions to make concerning every citizen. And, Lord God, they'll be fair, godly, and right now decisions that's going to be made concerning this city. And, Lord God, we'll declare and decree right now that we will give you all glory and all praise. Why? It belongs to you. Lord God, we don't even belong to ourselves. We belongs to you. Because your word says that the world is yours and the fullness thereof, and we that dwell on the face of the earth, we belongs to you. So, Lord God, I'm happy about that we could come together and pray for our council members and for the city of Kinston and every person that's in leadership concerning Kinston. We give you all glory and all praise. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Whitfield. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance Thank you. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Solomon. Councilmember Hardy.
Present.
Councilmember Aiken. Councilmember Seaforth. Present.
Okay, all present accounted for. At this time, we'll move on with our favorite part, citizens' comments. Citizens must sign in before the start of the meeting if they wish to address the city council. Citizens should state their name and address before beginning their comments and may speak for up to 3 minutes. Citizens seeking assistance or asking questions will be contacted by a member of the governing body or by the appropriate city staff. Madam Clerk, do we have any for citizens' comments?
Yes, sir. Latifah Irvine.
Ms. Irvine.
Good evening. My name is Latifah Irvine. I am the owner and founder of Legacy Memory Care located at 1406 East Shine Street, as well as Living Legacy Adult Day Health Program located at 1001 East King Street. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak to you tonight about a resource that is making a meaningful difference in the lives of our senior adults with disabilities and their families throughout our community and other communities to include Duplin County, Greene County, Jones County, Pitt County, and Wayne County. Legacy Memory Care provides comprehensive services that help individuals remain in their homes and communities while receiving care and support they need. We offer access to a primary care physician, mental health services, rehabilitation services through Broad River Rehab, including physical, occupational, and speech therapies, podiatry through Tar Heel Foot and Ankle, and lastly, dentistry with Dominion Dental. Our participants enjoy a variety of enriching activities in our on-site movie theater, our library, and outdoor courtyard, which promotes socialization, independence, and overall well-being. Our program not only serves participants, but also provides much-needed respite and support for their family caregivers who work tirelessly to care for them. In addition to our adult day health program, our sister facility, Legacy Memory Care, is a 24-bed specialized facility dedicated to serving residents with dementia and Alzheimer's disease. We provide care on a 24-hour basis. We are the only 4-star assisted living facility in Lenoir County, and demonstrating our commitment to providing exceptional care and maintaining the highest standards for our residents. As Kinston and Lenoir County continues to grow, so does the need for quality senior services, and we are asking for your support in helping raise awareness of our programs, fostering community partnerships, and identifying opportunities to expand services for those that need them the most, our seniors. At Legacy, we believe that every individual deserves dignity, compassion, and an opportunity to live their best life. We stand ready to work alongside the City of Kinston to ensure that our seniors and vulnerable adults receive the care, respect, and support that they deserve. Thank you for your time, your leadership, and your commitment to our community. May I approach by giving you guys all a flyer?
Thank you.
Mayor, may I ask? Yes. So this is amazing. So where's the nearest, because we've often heard about the need,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying, the support that is given, like for caregivers.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
attend the caregiver support group with our Council on Aging.
Mhm.
And just realizing, saying that a lot of times the caregivers, like that's heavy.
Yes,
And so I can just only imagine, the gratitude and the relief that are given, to those caregivers
Mhm.
to this adult day program.
Yes, ma'am.
So where's the nearest one, besides the one that you created and founded here
There-
in the city?
The nearest one that does operate under the same regulations as adult day health program is called a PACE program. They just opened in New Bern in December of last year.
So that's huge. So like we're talking about something that's rare
Mhm.
here in Eastern North Carolina.
Correct. I would be the only one from this distance to about 36 miles, which is New Bern. Mhm.
So Mayor, may I?
Go ahead.
So my question to you is why? Like why?
What brought this about?
Like
Okay.
why did you feel the need?
Um,
Because there was a need.
There is.
Mhm.
Well, basically, I
Your
opened.
personal story, if you don't mind.
No problem. I opened up living a legacy memory care in 2020, and I noticed that a lot of people are not really prone to institutionalization for their loved ones, even when they have dementia and or Alzheimer's. So they want to keep their loved ones at home, and this gives them a option to do so. If they want to remain at home without institutionalization, we're open from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. That gives that family caregiver that may not be able to work because they're a full-time caregiver the ability to go back to work if they need to. Everything is going up, food, everything. So caregiving is stressful, and they do need a respite. So even if they don't intend on going back to work, and they need a break, that also allows them the opportunity for them to have a break, and is much needed being a caregiver. And my personal experience is my brother. At the age of 10 years old, my brother lost his eyesight, and he went to an adult daycare. And that basically spun into something that became a caregiver at 10 years old with my mom. So it was like, okay, it went from that to going to school to become a nurse myself. So it just basically stemmed from there. And it was I wanted to be able to provide those same services to people that are aging and or disabled.
Beautiful.
Any other questions?
Anybody else? Les, C4?
I got one question.
Yes.
So how do you get these people to your facility? Do you drive them in a van or anything?
We have a
handicap van?
15 passenger that has two wheelchair spots in the 15 passenger as well. So it's a wheelchair accessible van. It has a lift for the wheelchair to get into the wheelchair. So we do commute. We will not service, however, people that live in Lenoir County if they're close. Now, if there's it depends on the circumstances. I shouldn't say we won't. What I would say is that it depends on the circumstances. So say you're a geriatric person yourself and or disabled and you're still caring for a loved one as well. There's that stress of getting them out of the house because now you're walking with a cane, but your loved one's in a wheelchair. So it depends on your circumstances. I would prefer, if they're in Lenoir County, to bring them via car or via van or however they can get them there, because I want them to be engaged as well in their loved one's care. So if they're currently in Lenoir County, we will provide transportation, but it would definitely be on a case-by-case basis. But we service 6 counties.
And on an average day, about how many?
We can have up to 26 people per day. And we're actually going to be going into moving to opening up 3 to 11, up until 11 p.m. After 11 p.m., we can't service because the building isn't sprinkled. So we had to install doors in every single room when we opened the facility, so that is an egress in every room, so you can get out of the building safely at ground level through every door.
You're a gem.
Appreciate you.
You're a gem.
Great deal. Thank you. From one nurse to another, we know how important this care is at aging, this aging stage in life. So I applaud you for your efforts, and we look forward to seeing more of you in our community.
All
You're a
right.
Great asset.
I invite you all to come take a tour.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
You good, Pearl? Madam Clerk, we have anybody else?
Tanya Sutton.
Tanya Sutton.
Hi, I'm Tanya Sutton. I live at 615 Lotus Place, right here in Kingston. I'll make this real quick because what I want to talk about is going to come later. But I want to make this real quick. My comment is strictly to our city manager. Mr. Clark, I don't know if you seen any of my lives, but when you was in the hospital, I actually made sure everybody knew that when I got off live, I was going to pray that you had a very, very good success when you came out of there. Like, I definitely didn't want anything bad to happen to you. I wanted to make sure that you came out. But on the flip side of that, I do want you to understand when I do talk later that I definitely did not want you to come back. The things that you put inside this budget for these city council members to go through has nothing to do with the citizens of Kingston that I see. So with that being said, I want to get this out of my way now to let you know that I don't wish anything bad on you. But at the same time, I want you to understand, I really wish that you could have just went on home and took care of yourself and made sure you was okay instead of coming back and taking the time to write out this budget that you presented to them today in the city council meeting. But that's all I want to say at this moment, and thank you.
Madam Clerk, do we have anyone else for citizens' comments?
Quala Blackwell.
Ms. Blackwell.
Good evening, y'all. I'm here tonight again asking for the records. First, I want to thank the city clerk, Deborah Thompson, for providing me the document she was able to locate. She did her job. The problem is what she provided. The problem is I got more questions than I got answers. You know, the records show that the city did not locate the oath of offices for the planning board chair nor the vice chair, Jess Edwards, nor Mary Margaret Herring. The record shows that all of the ones that are sitting on this planning board was just taking the oath of office on April the 28th of this year. Some of these guys have been sitting in these seats since 2017. There is no minutes for the planning board. There's no agenda for the planning board. We don't know what they've been doing. You guys got minutes. You guys got agendas. So there's the mayor task force, so there's the Parks and Rec, but the most powerful board in our city, you cannot find a minute, an agenda, and no reappointments, no none of this stuff. So again, I'm gonna say it loud. We're operating illegally. General statutes say that this stuff that I asked for over a month ago that I just got at 3-something today, that's unacceptable. She keep Miss Blount. I got an email from her. I was going on about my business today. I wake up, first thing I got is an email from her. Just playing with me. No documents, no nothing. No explanation as to why. Why you send me an email early this morning to get me back on this? I'm asking you guys for the records. We want to know exactly every member on that planning board, when they was appointed, when their term expired, their reappointments, and the oaths of office. I got every oath of office right here today. I saw you guys appoint Betty Nobles. I don't have one for her. And again, I don't have one for the chair nor the vice chair. I don't want to have to go above you guys' heads. I've been waiting a month, but I'm prepared to go above you guys' heads to get this planning board right. Open the process back up. Let everybody get a chance, a fair chance with this. We got some real good planners in our city, and we shouldn't be operating on an illegal planning board.
Madam Clerk, do we have anyone else with citizens' comments?
Tanya Marshall.
Ms. Marshall.
My name is Tanya, Tanya Marshall. I live at 1109 Cary Road. I came forward today, first of all, to say thank you to the mayor and the council. I have just really been watching you. I've been attending all the meetings, and I just really appreciate your discourse. I know that whenever decisions are made by anybody in any office at any level, not everybody will always be happy with the outcome. But I have a significant appreciation for how you all discuss things. This has been a very educational experience, something that I see just, out in the public or whatever, is that there is a significant lack of understanding as to how a lot of things work. And I have seen in several meetings where you all took the time to explain things. It makes the meetings a little longer, but I appreciate it because to me it shows that you care about our concerns. I see you all taking notes, and I appreciate that because you do work for the citizens, and so it means a lot to me to hear you and to see you responding to our concerns. And there have been a lot of things that will be discussed here at this podium that when you go out during the week or between meetings, you see that somebody has acted on it. With that being said, I also would like to, continue that. One of the things that I have a question about is specifically, with the demolition project. That was a huge concern, and particularly for you, Councilman Hardy. What I think would be great to know is the reason why, because I think if people at least know all the information, it helps us to know whether the decisions you're making are decisions we can trust. And so, for everyone to be on board and for you to have a problem with it, I think that it would be helpful to explain to us, what things were attempted over, you mentioned, I think it was over the past 7 years or so, you didn't want to do it because nothing happened afterwards. I think it would be great to explain why, what was tried, what didn't work. As opposed to just saying, no, let's leave things like they are, help us citizens understand why there's a no. And then finally, I would like to encourage everybody to participate in the Washington Avenue Sewer Project. We have an opportunity to get a grant for $3 million, the city, when I say we, and we just need people to complete the surveys. They're very quick, 5 minutes, spread the word. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Marsh. Madam Clerk, we have anyone else with citizens' comments?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. I would like to say on a lighter note that I do like to thank Chief Goyette, Major Jenkins, Major Turner for their quick response. Like at the last council meeting, we did have some concerns about crime, and before we could meet again, these guys had already set up a meeting with the community and gave a briefing on what's actually going on in our community, where they focusing their efforts and stuff like that. So they've been really making a outreach into the community to make sure that you guys are well informed. So I don't see the chief, but I appreciate you, Major Chief. Let you guys know that. Okay, let's move on to adoption of the agenda. If a council member wishes to revise the agenda, the motion to add or delete an item will be entertained before the adoption of the agenda. Is there any items that we'd like to add to the agenda?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to add, in closed session, a personnel matter.
Okay. At this time, we entertain a motion to add a personnel matter to the agenda. Second by motion by Councilmember Hardy, and second. Second by Mayor Pro Tem Solomon. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Seeing none, motion carried. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda with the add for the personnel matter. Can I get a motion? Motion by Councilmember Aiken. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Hardy. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Seeing none, motion carried. Agenda adopted. Madam Clerk, minutes.
I have nothing, sir.
Okay, thank you. At this time, we'll move on to the public hearing. We're going to turn this over to our manager, Ralph Clark.
Mr. Mayor, thank you. And, can you hear me? Okay.
Approve the minutes.
Go ahead. Did you get a vote? All right, let's get a vote on the approval of the minutes.
I make a motion.
Motion by Councilmember Hardy, second. Second by Councilmember Lippert. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Seeing none, motion carried. All right, y'all know we've been waiting to get this budget, so let's get on it. Get it, Ralph.
All right. Mr. Mayor, we're presenting tonight the recommended budget for the fiscal year 26-27. The budget that's presented includes all 20 funds and totals $126,463,800. The budget also includes a 3-cent reduction in the ad valorem tax rate, and there are no other increases in your water, sewer, your downtown municipal service district, the GTP fire rate, the electric rates, stormwater rates, solid waste rates, but there are a few minor adjustments in the fee schedule, which are the planning. I think there's some planning changes in there. But other than that, the budget stays pretty much the same. The budget has been posted on the city's website, and a copy has been made available in the city clerk's office for public review, and also has been made available in the Kinston-Lenoir Public Library for public review. The meeting, this meeting is scheduled for a public hearing and has been properly advertised as such. The proposed schedule for adoption is to hold a public hearing tonight and prepare for the formal adoption at the next regular scheduled council meeting, which is June 16, 2026, after any adjustments are made as a result of public hearing. I recommend that right at this moment to open the meeting for the public hearing.
Okay, at this time, open the meeting for public hearing. Would anybody like to speak in favor of or opposition of the proposed budget? Yeah, you can come forward.
Yes, sir. Tanya
Come on,
Sutton.
Tanya. Ms. Sutton.
Okay, here's where we get serious at. Again, I'm Tanya Sutton. I live right here in Kinston. demolishing general funds. The whole campaign last year that you guys were running upon was based on public housing, getting people some affordable housing. All right? That's what we all ran this campaign on, what you want to do. When are we going to start focusing on that? LaGrange is building 500 new houses in their city. Pink Hill is building 200 new houses in their city. Kinston built 2. 2. We are not growing. We are exhausting our general funds. Mr. Clark, you said that you found $1 million from somewhere out there. Who knows? I don't know how the other city manager missed the whole $1 million, but you found it. But you found $1 million, and all you want to do is you want to continue to give the money away by buying more police cars. You want to use the money to demolish other people's properties. At what point do you take some of this money and give it back to the people that's paying the money? There's a lot of us that's paying a lot of money in taxes. There's a lot of people that can't even afford the taxes that was set in place for these guys to pay. But nobody is thinking about that. We got elderly. She was just talking about how the seniors are struggling, needing to go back to work because they got to come up with money to pay light bills, taxes, things in that nature, take care of their family, buy food and gas. But nothing in your budget says anything about giving back to these people. These kids, you take everything from these kids. Tell me how Kinston supposed to grow and when you help allow the LaRoque family to set us up with an annex. And people that don't know, an annex means the city can't grow past where it's at. You remember that, right? The city can't grow no more. We stuck right where we are. The city is stuck right where it's at. You're not doing anything to keep for the people that's actually paying this money. So I'm asking that you please just stop coming up with budgets. Stop taking your time to come up with a budget that you know good and well is not fit for the people that's actually paying this money. Now, how can Kinston get recognized from the outsiders when we are never having anything here but the barbecue festival? That's all we ever have here. For example, you have Mr. Raymar Radio going out of his way right now by himself to do a whole Juneteenth parade for the citizens of Kinston. It ain't got no color to it. He just want to have a parade for Juneteenth. But the city have yet to come up and help that man with anything. Financially anyway. Yeah, you got Mr. Lim that's going down there and helping him organize it. But financially, you got $1 million you found don't have nothing to do with it and didn't even want to help this man. I'm confused. I'm just confused. Let me see, the recreation department, we touched on that, the summer camps. If you take all the money from the kids, if you take all the money out of the budget for the recreation department, you got a whole line of kids. Remember this, you only have one Boys and Girls Club in Kinston, one. It's full, it's maxed out. Nobody else can sign up for Boys and Girls Club. I went there and asked myself, they're full. You want to take all the money from the Parks and Rec. So summer camps, how's these people going to continue to grow with these people in summer camps? You want to ask me? Let me tell you. They got to take their own money from their own funding to do it. I done it. I'm doing it again this year. I'm going to take 5 high school kids and put them to work in my business and pay them every week so they can learn a trade. But I got to pay it out of my pocket. What are you going to do? What are y'all going to do with their money? That's all I'm asking. You sit around, what was that? This is the last thing I'm going to touch bases on. The organization support money was $50,000 in the budget for organization support money. You said you found $1 million. Why was that $50,000 a problem? It was given to nonprofits to help with these kids. Why did that $50,000 have to come in play for you to do something else with and then to give it back to the nonprofits that's trying to help these children out? I want you to just sit back and really think about what you're doing. Stop being selfish. Stop thinking about yourself. Stop thinking about your buddies over at the county. And let's think about these people that's actually spending this money. That's all we're asking. I'm not asking you for nothing for me. I don't need nothing. I'm fine. But there's a lot of people out here that does need y'all help. There's a lot of people out here that does need some of their money back that you guys are taking. So stop being selfish, you guys. Think about other people, and let's do the right thing with this budget. Throw this budget out the way. Get you a new city council city manager, because you got another one coming in the next 30 days. I wish the best for you when you go, but you got another one coming in another 30 days, and hopefully they got a different plan. Thank you, guys.
Good evening. Good evening, Mayor, City Council members, City Manager, City Attorney, City Clerk. I heard her, but I'm just wondering if, Mr. Clark, did you put serious thought and consideration of this budget before you put it in play? And if you did you actually think that was the best that you could get out of it without stripping the citizens? And again, thank you, Kansas Police Department, for the event, Major Jenkins, that we had last Thursday. I appreciate that. It was really, really going. I like that. I'm waiting on part 2. But again, from all that she said, I'm just hoping that you put in a lot of thought and thought about the citizens and the funds and everything that could help. We know we can't save everything, but did you put in a good one so that things will come out on top? I'm waiting for the developers too, you all. So that's just my question. Did you put serious consideration into it before you put it into play? If you did all you could do, then that's what we'll have to accept. But if you feel like it's necessary for you to go back and think about everything that you have done and can make it better without stripping the citizens, please do. We would appreciate it. Thank you.
Ms.
Good evening again, y'all. I'm Corla Blackwell, 804 Chestnut Street. And I just want to start by saying, first of all, I thank y'all for at least last year we were late. I do thank y'all for making it known that we did have a public hearing this year and that we do get to come in and address our concerns before we hand down this budget. Mr. Clark, I gave you a lot of credit when I met with you. I was wrong. I was real wrong. And this is no assault to no attack, no nothing. This is just the forensic truth I want to share with you guys. I want to say this. We are not against you guys. We are against you guys keep letting them play you in your faces. Because they stripped my, we went from a $133 million budget down to a $128 million budget. But guess who that money came from? Y'all. Before I even look down at this paper and share with y'all what we forensically signed, he took everything. Y'all hired him. The mayor budget used to be $15,000. Guess what it is this year? $2,500. Where he going? Across the street, Granger Stadium? Where he going? How I ain't gonna stay in the in Don? Hey, I didn't have no problem with Don spending that. Only problem I had with Puerto Rico, they can't offer us nothing. But in the States, he gotta go somewhere. $2,500, y'all. He took this man budget from $15,000 to $2,500. Chop y'all's expenses in half. Y'all went from $5,000 to $2,500, but y'all hired him. But guess what he did for himself and his buddies? We ready to pay him a whole nother extra $40,000. That's what this budget entails forensically. So let's get to it. Our 3 biggest weaknesses. I want you guys, please make notes and go back and make them go back and fix this stuff. Because these are the lawyers that aren't tied to the city talking to you tonight, okay? The 3 biggest weaknesses to call out tonight. That tax cut she talking about, that $1,100,000. We got it. Why he didn't put it back into housing initiatives? I heard y'all meeting about how building houses, but it ain't a dollar in there to say we all gonna build something. $0 in this budget is for housing. 0. See, before I go any further, I want y'all to understand something tonight. These people are in cahoots together to shut the city of Kinston down and make it one government, because that's what it looks like to me. That's my opinion. So, Mr. Attorney, don't play with me. This is my opinion. From looking at y'all budget from last year and this year, y'all look at me because I cuss and I ain't got no degree and think I don't know what's going on. I got a better laser than all y'all put together, and you can believe that. These people is playing us in our face. Ain't a dollar in this budget for the people. Then he came back and took from the kids. Have y'all really looked? I am so for you guys. Every one of you. That's why I ran like that. I'll never be mad about losing a seat because I got a better one at home that I work from. And I'm not against nobody. When I put my name on that ballot, it was for real, whether I got the seat or not. And I need you guys, I know most of y'all work, are part of other boards, don't get to dig into this stuff like a person like me that ain't got nothing but time and research. So I feel I really be trying to help y'all. I know I be coming to it make me mad when y'all act like y'all don't hear me. These people playing us with our money. He told me he wasn't gonna spend nothing on us. And he did just that. I got to watch him for an hour. I've been a door-to-door sales lady 30 years. If God didn't give me the ability to do nothing else, he gave me the ability to read a man or a woman with money. And what I read about you, Mr. Clark, you don't have nothing good in your heart for us. I hate to say that might be what happened. But let's keep going. We got 700. This is a forensic. I'm going to move fast, too. We got that $1 million worth of cut. No new housing initiative, no emergency shelter, no new youth programs, no neighborhood revitalization, no expansion for public transportation, and absolutely no digital equity investments. The budget got $3.8 million in it in capital outlay. We spending our capital to buy vehicles instead of investing in the people. That's not what the capital revenue is for. It's not to buy vehicles, unnecessary ones. The police department, they got the finest stuff you could ever ask for. But we still got a $10 million budget with them this year. You know, that $3 million capital outlay, almost $8,000 in electric fund equipment, $670,000 in water fund equipment, $358,000 in sewer equipment, $307,000 in fleet maintenance, $184,000 for police SUVs, $138,000 for the traffic light cabinet. Everything, just and the list goes on. I got to go with 10 more. It's like 14 different line items over here, and it's all equipment. Nothing for the people. All we got for the people is all I saw was a $1,500 catch a criminal fund. That's all the police would have pulled up for crime. I'm being honest now. This ain't me. I'm reading the paper. I read Mr. Clark's budget. Okay. Let's talk about the affordable housing. It's $0 in this budget for it. I mean, it's a contradictory to keep hearing people. Y'all say we working on affordable housing, but we ain't set aside not even a brown penny for it. So if we do find the people, what we got to do? Wait till we got to figure out where the money coming from? Ain't nobody got no plan? And the sharpest questions I want to ask tonight, these are questions that I really would love the answers to. Like, why did that $1 million in property tax cut not go back to, housing and the homeless? Why is there zero funding in the affordable housing? Why does the budget prioritize $3.8 million in equipment over people-centered programs? Why are we buying police SUVs but not funding youth violence protection? I was up here last year this same time complaining about spending over $1 million in body cams, car cams, police cars, and here we are again. Nobody thought about the kids, but we're about to buy them some more cars. Like, how angry should we be? How nice should I talk about this big level of injustice? The God I served was an angry God when injustice presented itself. And I'm made in his image, for real. I'm very angry about this budget, Mr. Clark. Let's keep going, though, and I'm going to move out y'all way fast. We're not demanding anything. We're going to ask you guys to make him go back and reallocate at least $1 million from the capital outlay to people-centered services. That's a small thing for a giant. We got it. We're spending it on vehicles. Why can't we spend $1 million on people? We will hope you guys require an equity impact statement for every allocation over $100,000. These people don't have no integrity. I said that loud. We're asking to publish a public-facing budget dashboard, like within the next 90 days. Let us keep up with this stuff, like you guys are. And just in case you guys don't have time, we'll stand in the gap for you, forensically. We ask that can we start holding budget hearings in the neighborhoods? People are scared to come down here. It's right next door to the police station. Can we start having them at some of the recreation centers and stuff before we let just one person decide what he don't want to give the residents of the city because it's a predominantly black city? And number 5, we asking that you guys freeze the non-essential purchases of vehicles in these positions, these overrated incomes. Freeze this stuff until we start doing something for the humans, you know? And then I want to talk about the police budget for a little while. Every single item, everything, I ain't say 99.5 of the lines. Every line item in this budget for them are grants. I know they can't get them all, but did they get any? Because all this stuff, the 5 marked patrol SUVs, the 2 K9 SUVs, the 1 admin SUVs, the 2 F-150 trucks, you know, all the in-car cams. You know, they got the cops hiring program. They got the vehicle. They got so many different grants. Can they get out of our pockets? We asked y'all last year to get them out of our pockets a little bit, and let them get some of this stuff from grants, because 100% of what they're asking for, there are grants out there for it. So why are we paying? We pay for them right down to their paper and stuff. Like, they don't do nothing for themselves. I mean, it's really sad. It's really sad. And last, I just want to go over these numbers. Like, they stripped the position. They took the city clerk. They gave her double work for half the pay. That's who took the hit. Then you go on over there. Y'all took, I already told y'all the next hit y'all took. Y'all traveling expenses was cut in half. The mayor, he might well just took it and said, don't go. We ain't going to let him go nowhere. From $15,000 to $2,500. Where is he going? That's not fair. Then the kids. Everything the rec department asked for, he denied it. But these people been coming, these people that live in the project, housing projects, they telling y'all we got 2 swings, no parks. We asking for more. He took what we had. Man, if I keep going, I'm going to get mad. I feel myself shaking. But you guys, this budget is trash. It's trash. It is straight garbage. It is the only thing this budget do is buy equipment and materials. There is not a single, I ain't found a single dollar in here yet to reflect the people. Please don't let them do this to us. We trampled y'all guys down last year. Y'all came in here swinging. Y'all was ready to turn over everything that Darnell had going on because it was no good. We went through drastic measures trying to beat the January deadline. We don't have to beat no deadlines this year. We're here. Make that man, hey, I wouldn't want him, hey, maybe that was in his younger days. Because the budget reflect, and I say this respectfully, it reflect the age and the color of the man that gave it to us.
Ms. Blackwell, Chief, can you have her removed? Have her removed. hold on for a second, Ms. Marshall. It's important, citizens, that we maintain respect for everybody. You have a right to speak at the public hearing, but you don't have the right to come in here and harass or make racial comments. Let's stick to the hearing. That's what we're here for. We want to hear what you guys got to say about the budget. There are a lot of things that we may and may not be able to do, but what we won't do is tolerate that. I apologize. Shouldn't happen on my watch. Ms. Marshall?
I would like to start by, even though I didn't do it, apologizing to you as well, Mr. Manager. I think that you have done a great job. I have enjoyed your engagement. I think that a part of the problem that I see is people complaining to current council about things that are not your fault. You guys have been, this council, it's true, if we're complaining about the taxes, that didn't happen under this council. It's okay if you shake your head, but the taxes that we have now happened previously. At least Mr. Manager brought the taxes down. Perhaps it's not as low as some people might want it to be, and there is more work that can be done, and I trust that you will do it. There were some good suggestions made, and I really hope that you all will consider them, but I am thankful that you did work to bring those high taxes down. I'm thankful that you did find the $1 million by reinvesting or by investing money that was, just sitting there. I'm thankful for a lot of the things that you've done. And so I just wanted to give you kudos, especially in light of the disrespect that you just had to sit here and endure. I'm appreciative for you. I hope that as we move forward, you all will continue what you've done before in helping us to understand. There are a lot of things that are not as easy for the average citizen, anybody whose hands are not directly in the pot and making the decisions that y'all have to make. I hope that you would continue what I was talking about earlier as far as helping us to understand the decisions that are made and why they're made. Everybody won't get what they want, but one of the young ladies asked if you felt like this was the best that you could do. And I just implore you, to consider that. I'm sure it is, because I can't imagine that you wouldn't have done your best. But I think, even the decisions about the police department, it's kind of like you guys are in a catch-22 because people complain about the crime and they want something done. Well, that takes money. You have to run the city. The police officers have to get paid. The fire department has to have trucks that run, so I think those are things that people miss, and I appreciate you all taking those things into consideration. I heard part of a meeting from the county where I think it was the manager who mentioned something about, I think he called it like a zero budget approach or something like that, like just really starting from ground zero and seeing what's required, as opposed to this is what we have, what can we take away? Is everything in the budget justified? Do we have any dead weight? Do we have any empty weight? Anything that we're paying for that we're not getting a good return on? The same way we do with our money, consider that with positions, equipment, like we should be getting a significant return on our investment in the people of this city. As it relates to the things that you're doing being for the people, it's the city. Like literally to run the city, everything is for the people. It may not be, funding a specific program, but we got to start somewhere. And this council has been in place since January. That's 5 months. I don't expect everything to have been overturned by now, but I've seen significant progress. Maybe we could have saved money if we hadn't given the city workers an increase in pay. But who can live on $8.50 an hour? I'm unselfish enough to appreciate the fact that money went toward paying those people and people that have been doing it for decades. That speaks a lot to me, that they stuck with it for decades, making pennies. Nobody, who can live on $8.50 an hour? So sure, the everything y'all done could have been a lot lower, but I'm okay with helping other people. I want my police department and fire department to be funded. Because if I ever have to, God forbid I do, but if I ever have to dial 911, I need them to be able to get to me. So, just in closing, even the, affordable housing stuff, I also recognize that you have to start somewhere. The demolition project made sense to me because we need somewhere to put the houses. So, I just implore you, take away the good from what was said, release the negativity, and please consider making sure that this is absolutely the best that you can do with our budget.
Thank you, Ms. Marshall.
My name is Rosemary Jones. I didn't develop a speech or anything for this. What Tanya said, I appreciate, and I want to go on that. 71 cents didn't seem like a lot to me. I understand that you worked hard to try to get it that low, but we want infrastructure, our pipes, our roads, buildings have trees growing up on it. Who wants to come here if our city looks like that? This all costs money. I understand that. If we, a household budget, we all look at our lines, what we can pay for food, gas, electricity, and how much we take in. This is what it's all about. And this is nothing more than a house budget for the whole city. I believe truly that all these people here are working hard to help the city grow. And that's what I want. I want to see that. I want to see the city grow. And thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Jones. Mr. Jones.
Robert Jones. I didn't want to come tonight. I'm just going to be honest with you, but I'm glad I did. Enjoyed the show. Anyway, I think what a lot of people don't get, and this is what I'm saying tonight, the budget. Okay, a lot of people don't get it, but the general fund is where our taxes go. I don't care what you do with the rest of the stuff. I don't care. It would be nice to identify a funding source for some of this stuff. I mean, road improvement, sidewalk replacement, and what was the substation services. It would be nice to identify the funding source. If you identify the funding source on your agenda, then I believe people will look at it and say, well, it's not coming out of general fund, so we shouldn't care that much about it. Don't get me wrong, we do need things, but the general fund is what we all need to, citizens need to be mainly concerned about. That's the key part that your taxes go to. They don't go to any of these other funds. So if you guys identify the funding source and probably be a little bit more transparent about what exactly is taking place. I mean, I understand the peak load reduction. I understand concrete replacement projects. I see the amount, but I don't know where. So stuff like that, I think will help educate the public and create less conflict when we come to these meetings. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Public hearing is still open. We have any others? Comments, concerns?
Good evening. My name is Edith Joyner. I live in Carver Court. This is the first time I ever done this, but it was laid on my heart. I'm concerned about the kids when they get out from school and they don't have anywhere to go. And I be around a whole lot of them. Their parents are not concerned. I sit and I talk with them, and they're smoking and drinking. I know that's not in y'all, it's not in y'all hand, and y'all don't have anything to do with it, but I love kids. And I just want somebody besides me to go out and encourage them. When the schools are closed, they don't have any, like Boys and Girls Club. They don't have anywhere to go to. They need somewhere to go to be encouraged. Show some love and understanding. Now, I went to school with Counselor Hart. He knows that I love him. And I'll try to do anything that I can for him. So if I can get some help, and I stayed in his projects about 14 years, and I was staying upstairs in Carver Court because I couldn't walk. I'm using this cane. I just moved downstairs. It took me 6 years to move downstairs in a low-place apartment. I've been struggling and straining, but I thank God that he put people in my life to help me. And I thank my friend Hardy for telling me to stay encouraged. He helped me. And I have some friends out there that helped me. So I want y'all to help some of these elder people and these young people that are living in Goodson Towers, 6 churches. The elder people need a place to stay where they're being, can feel that they're not going to be hurt, not going to be killed, that they can come out and sit down and have a good time, not being around smoking and drinking, and they're scared. Because I'm used to sitting on my porch, but when I hear them out there shooting, killing, behind nothing, I used to sit out there on my porch, but now I'm afraid because when this boy got killed, when I was standing in the 24 building H, I was in my bed when I heard that gunshot. And I was afraid, but the only thing I can do was pray. But I know trials and tribulations going to go on wherever we live. And we have to put faith in God. But if we move here and move there, we know we're going to go through something. But I'm asking for the elder people that's older than I am to have a place where they can feel free, that they know they're going to be protected. They don't have to worry about these 55 years old and 45 years old going in their building when they walk in. Somebody smoking, somebody drinking, somebody with a gun. They can be protected and they can feel free. That's what I'm saying. Elder people need to have a place to stay. They need to be protected because when we were growing up, we didn't have to worry about all this killing and all this shooting. These people can leave and come back home, leave the doors open, leave the windows open. We watched out for one another. But now, we don't care about one another. We need to bring some love, some understanding in our community for our young people anyway, because they say the white man going to do better things than we are because they don't have a chance. They don't have an opportunity. So they say they're going to be a failure. We need somebody to get them more encouraged than I can, because they look at me sometimes and say, why should I listen to you and you walking around with a stick? But so I tell them, you just don't know. I praise God because I've been through some trials and tribulations. When the doctors told me I wasn't going to make it, they told my son to plan my funeral. When the doctors came in there, and I was sitting up on my bed, and he asked me, said, why are you getting there? I said, because God told me to take up my bed and walk. That's a miracle. And sometimes when I was standing upstairs, I would fall out, have seizures, and I would lay right there. I didn't have nobody to come see about me. Nobody. I lay right there for 2 or 3 days. But I thank God that I'm down on the lower floor. I ain't going to say nobody going to come see about me. But I thank God that on my lower floor, I won't fall down the steps because that's a lawsuit, and I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to put no lawsuit on the city or nobody. I know how it is to be up on the housing. But so it took them 5 years to get me downstairs. 5 years, because every time I went and asked them for a lower building, they said somebody else got it. So I would walk away. I was in tears and I was hurting. But when people come behind you like Mr. Hardy, my friend out there in the internet green and tell you, say, be still, God got something for you. And I moved Saturday, and they helped me move. And I just thank God. But we need to help our young people. And our elder people, to me, is more important. I don't care if I stay on the street. I want I want my homeless people. I want my elder people that don't even have their family to come see about them, to have somewhere safe to stay. And so where they know they be secure. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else for the hearing? I see a hand up. Nobody? Okay. We'll come back.
Mayor, city council members, please keep, well, I did hear that at the last meeting that y'all was still talking to the developers. Please continue to talk to developers so that us seniors and us can get a safe place to live. It's valuable. It's needed. It really is. So think about us when you go to those classes and talk to the developers and stuff about coming to Kinston. Kinston has really, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming through. I can see some of the changes, and I'm pretty much, yeah. I kind of see some changes, some differences, but continue to talk to the development so seniors like her, me, and the rest can get some safe places to live. Thank you.
Thank you.
Latifah Irvine again. I just wanted to touch base on, we had a snowstorm in February. And something that we experienced at Legacy Memory Care is that we could not get ambulance to our building. The streets were not plowed on East Shine Street, so we had to actually meet the EMS at the corner of East Shine and Atkins in order to transport someone to the emergency room. So if we can consider making sure that the roads where our assisted living facility is have access for EMS to get to us, it would be greatly appreciated. We will greatly appreciate that because EMS access to our facility is detrimental, especially if someone falls and injures themselves badly. That's all I have. Oh, the house next door. We also have a house next door to our center where we've had to kill several snakes that are right next to our assisted living facility. We actually had 2 snakes that got into our facility as well because of an abandoned house that's next to us. That house has been there since, I don't know how long, but it's been there since I acquired the property next door to it. And it has a tree growing out of it, green mold in it, cats mate and all types of animals live in it. It's not safe for our residents. We are fenced in all the way around, but it's just not safe with the snakes and everything that can get into our facility.
Is it the church that's on the corner, or is it the 2 white houses?
No, we're on East Shine Street. We're not talking about the
ones on
adult daycare. We're talking about on East Shine Street.
Oh, on East Shine.
Yeah,
Oh,
and next to our assisted living, and we specialize in dementia and Alzheimer's. So if somebody wanders to the side of the building, they can be.
Yeah, I know what
That
facility
house
you're
next-
speaking on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. You got that, Pearl? Okay. Would there be anyone else for the public hearing at this time? Okay, at this time, we'll declare the hearing closed. All right, we move on.
Mr. Mayor,
Hold on. What's up?
you forgot to ask anything from the council?
Y'all want, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Let's hear it, council.
Well, I'm gonna go first.
All right.
Because the issue about the taxes. I just want to make sure everybody understands why the last council didn't do anything about reducing the taxes. The reason why we didn't do anything, because there wasn't any money there to do anything with. If you sit on this council, I've been up here 7 years, going on 8. These budgets that we do are so strict, so to the down to the penny. When those section heads come to the manager with their proposals. We look at the budget and we go off their proposals. We do make cuts in certain areas, but 9 times out of 10, if we making cuts on that budget, it's to benefit our water and sewer, electric, or some of that nature. Has nothing to do with anybody getting any pay. Didn't have nothing to do with anybody getting any travel money, or anybody getting raises and all this other stuff. When we did get raises, the city council hadn't got a raise in 15 years. 15 years. So there were also issues that we can't discuss about certain money that the city spends. A lot of money that the city spends is not for public information. So people have to realize they things that go on behind the scenes that aren't being discussed to the public for many reasons, which is out of our control, that's controlled by the state or the federal government. So it ain't always about who's sitting up here in these seats and the decisions that we make. We got guidelines from other people as well. So don't look at it like, and the reason why I'm saying this is for one thing, anybody that lives in the city of Kinston that know Antonio Pearl Hardy, I have never took one dime of my pay. 7 years been on this council, not one dime have I put in my pocket to spend on me or my family. It all went back to this community. All of it, every single dime. Never took a penny. So I'm not up here on this council for no pay. I'm concerned about the people who put me in office. And when they come to me with an issue, they come to me with a problem, I'm gonna try to address it. Whether it's through their full budget, whether it's out of my pocket, or wherever it comes from. I'm trying to help people. I ain't up here for no show, for no pay, for none of that. And I got witnesses that sitting on this staff. Every year, this staff, I award this staff because I appreciate the work they do. I award them every year out of my pocket. The rec department. I have spent so much money in the rec department for our kids. I don't have any kids here. My kids are grown. But I take out of my pocket every year to give to the youth. Every year. Daycare centers, school supplies, support the band, whoever. So I want people to not question the decision we make as a council. I look at these people as my family. Whether I make a bad decision or if I have an indifference with anybody on this council, it's never personal. It's trying to do the right thing that I think that the people that put me in office that I'm trying to represent. And in saying that, community support. We have been doing community support ever since I've been on the council that I can remember. And Ralph said he took a position and he found $34,000 in this budget. If nothing else, I want that $34,000 to go to community support. That's my personal feeling, but the council has the vote. I only have one. I only have one. And this economic development piece, I have been preaching and preaching and preaching. If we found extra money, we need to take a part of that money and put it aside so we can partner with somebody to bring some housing to this community. We have to. You got the global transport park getting ready to blow slam up. And these people are going to be living in LaGrange, they're going to be living in Pink Hill, they're going to be living in Griffin, but they won't be living in Kinston. And we got to do something about it, whether we do it with this budget, next year's budget, or wherever, we got to do something about it. And I'm speaking for the people that I represent. It ain't about me. So that's what I got to say about the budget.
Thank you, Councilman Hardy. Mr. Aiken.
I wrote down some of the suggestions that the citizens made. We were in Raleigh about 3 weeks ago. We met with a company that does demolition, and they expedite the process. We may be bringing them to a workshop here in one of our upcoming meetings. Les and I was at a meeting yesterday with a developer. I gave him a tour of the town and Global Transport, Thompson Street, Atkins Street, and all of that. And they're looking to bring some affordable houses here. We're trying to put them on either next meeting, the third Tuesday of the month. But they have some great ideas. We're talking to different developers and all. A lot of things we can't make public at the time. It's kind of economic development, but we're looking for new housing. You saying Pink Hill's getting about 100 new houses. LaGrange getting about 300 to 400, 500. A lot of people, the developers are choosing the county because they're only paying 2% tax while we're paying 6%. So that's a big deal, and they want incentives to come to these places. Ralph had made mention that we need to form some type of committee with the realtors, with all of the stakeholders, with the developers, and come up with like some kind of master plan or some type of plan that be beneficial to the citizens of Kinston and to all of us. So we're talking to people. When we go to these conventions, we're not just going there, and it ain't no partying. We're just going there and we're going to classes and learning things. So we're trying to bring this, what we learned back to you all. And people saying, mention stuff about the youth. And a lot of people saying like Carver Court only got 2 swings and no athletic equipment. And I talked to the Housing Authority, and they stated that, well, right now, we're kind of concerned more getting air conditioning units inside of the people, replace those inside of the units, and the plan for the athletic equipment is through grants and all that. They're applying for grants and all for that. So a lot of times people think, well, the city is not doing nothing in the Housing Authority, but that belongs to the federal government, you know. So, and a lot of, when they started Kinston 101, when I suggested about 10 years ago, people were asking me questions about Board of Education questions, high school and all of that. We started this Kinston 101, which has been beneficial to the whole community. The year before, they had 7 people in the class, and they had about 40 people in this class. So an informed citizenry is a great citizenry. And this group we have here, even with Ralph and all, attorney, we're working hard for you. We're doing due diligence. You get people on Facebook, they get one thing. The lady asked the planning department about 20 questions about vapes. Name all of the vapes we have, name the employees in the thing. And it seems like it's asinine, but by the Freedom of Information Act, we got to research these, but the city clerk, the planners, we got to do it at our own as soon as possible. But we're in the middle of a budget and all of that now, and people are asking all of these questions, you know, asking you 50 questions. I want you to have them done in 2 weeks. And that's a lot of burden on the staff. So I see brighter days here in Kinston. I wouldn't have came back on this board here if I didn't think we had got better days, brighter days ahead. And that's it.
Thank you, Sam. Mayor Pro Tem.
Allow me to first say that I'm grateful for our department heads and the work that they do, their ability to do as best they can, more with less, not forgetting, you know, that we're the county seat of a Tier 1 county. And there's no perfect municipality. Like, there's always going to be things that we could do better, things that we do well. And then most of the time, it's those things that we do well that go unmentioned. Ralph, I stand 10 toes down and say to you how much we appreciate you helping us transition through what has been, woo, some heck of some months as we look at coming off an election, helping us transition, you know what I'm saying, from the change of council, you know, having our city manager retired, having an interim city manager, and then not having a city interim manager, and then you coming in. And without any question, I cannot think of anyone else that could have helped us with this transition as well as you've done. And so I think I speak for most of us when we tell you we appreciate you. No one understands any seat that's held, whether it's that of a teacher, a parent, a step parent, a law enforcement officer, a council person, or a city manager, unless you sat in that seat. Now, your input is valuable, and like that's one of the best things that has ever happened for this city is the level of civic engagement, you know what I'm saying, that we're seeing. But I just wanted to say that before I talk about the budget. That part. So I do want to express gratitude for the work that you've done to try to get us, you know, an extremely healthy budget. In the conversations that we had, you know, the council we were hoping, you know what I'm saying, in a healthy way, that we could get as close to revenue neutral as possible. We appreciate the fact that you got us there. But I think what I would ask is if we could get at least 50% of the ask. Because I'll say that 1 cent, you know, in the time in which we're living, like every cent matters, right? And so, you know, Ralph, I think, you know, the council would be supportive, I would hope, that we could look at possibly, you know, at least getting us out of the 70s and you know, possibly looking at another 1 cent reduction. You know, our ask was to get us as close to revenue neutral as possible. But I wouldn't want us to make a decision like that if it's going, you know what I'm saying, to be of a great impact. You've been very good with, you know what I'm saying, just your being able, you know, with the wisdom and experience, transfer where we do our banking, you know what I'm saying, and freeing up extra dollars. I would ask if we could, you know, possibly look at a 4 cent reduction.
If that's your wishes,
That's
we will work at it and incorporate it into the final budget. If that's the wishes, I believe we can do it.
Yeah.
We will make some adjustments, but we think we found some pieces that we can put the puzzle together.
And we do appreciate that. You know, the initial ask was, you know, 65%. I mean, 65 cents. You know, but if we could come as close as possible, so we.
Well, as I said, we recommend it. This budget we presented to you is 3 cents, and we believe we can do 4.
Yeah, because that'll put us middle ground. The second thing, when we look at the budget is, I echo the sentiments of Councilman Hardy about the importance of the organizational support. It may not look as it has looked in years past, but when you know, a community is only as strong as the care and the consideration that it gives to its most vulnerable citizens, which are our elderly, who I've always said, you know what I'm saying, are God's most priceless gifts, and our children, who are God's most precious gifts. And so I don't know what exactly it will look like. But it may not be in the way that we've done it before. We've gotten real good education about, you know what I'm saying, what we can't do, and I appreciate that, but then doing the work of figuring out what we can do. I give consideration, the mother referenced about the summer programming and the Boys and Girls Club being full. We are in support of, you know, the gate. We give them that space. There's a new director of the gate, Don Whitfield, who is doing an amazing work, you know, collaborating with the Arts Council. We now, if we can include in the existing contract with the gate, we now are seeing children after school. We are also, first time in decades, a summer camp for children. And so, you know, I would love to be able to see, you know what I'm saying, how do we support that work? You know, there's a line item within the council called community events. I don't know if it would end up having to come under there. Like, I don't know. I just know that I feel like it is important for us, you know what I'm saying, to offer some support. No is a complete sentence, and it's okay. Some organizations will hear no, but it's okay. But someone needs to hear yes. Also, when I think about the possibility, when we possibly could enter into a contract, and this will be for the council, you know what I'm saying, for us to think about. Rashida Cox came months ago and shared with us about Freedom Hill and the media camp that she's been holding for years in Princeville, with the support of, you know, the public schools, with the support of their local community college. And, you know, the way that it works is that children are getting introduced and seeds are being watered with something that many of them know nothing of. The nearest media camp, I think there might be one in Wilmington, and then there's one, I think where Les is coming from, that Durham area, that Raleigh-Durham area. Yeah. And so we have an opportunity, if willing. She's a native daughter. It's free. It gives scholarships. One of her last cohorts, their distribution of student-created films are being distributed by PBS. And so this is someone, you know, her film, she's, you know, in kind of talks with, you know, Hulu, you know, and I think that is something that's worth exploring. Also, I do understand about, and this is a conversation that we'll have with Kinston Housing Authority about the playground equipment, also about the building of the homeless shelter that needs a roof. But also, when I just think about organizations, you know, I had Council on Aging up here, but then when we think about the Council on Aging and, you know, our organizations such as Legacy, you know what I'm saying, who's doing the work, I cannot see how a council that believes in people and the quality of living for people, because our responsibility is also to provide the quality of living, for us to be able to look to see what we can do with being able to help support with continued organizational support. And those are my two. So thank you for looking at giving us another cent. And I do want us to look at supporting these organizations who are supporting our most vulnerable citizens, our elders, you know what I'm saying, who have done the work, and our children who we want to be able to do the work. So, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Seaforth?
Oh, no, I can go.
No, you
Thank
good.
you. everyone always say that I don't speak loud enough, so tonight I will. And I would like to say that as I sat and listened to what you had to say, it really touched my heartstrings. And I agree with what you were saying about some of the needs, the different outreach programs for the elderly and children. They are very, very important. But someone said something that really took me back maybe 2 weeks ago when I was at what we call the Global Trans Park. And there was a ribbon cutting for Jim Perry. And one of the speakers, every time one jet went by, he said, "That's money." And then when another one went by, it was at least three. He paused and said, "That's money." So there are a lot of things going on. Uh, Lenore Community College has this aviation program, and they have the ribbon cutting was for the Aviation Center of Excellence. I really didn't know a lot about it. They have partnered with Elizabeth City State University and East Carolina University. So I'm saying all of that to say Kinston is growing. It's on the rise. I remember when jets left Kinston when I came here 40-some years ago. I think it was called Piedmont Airline. So we're on the rise, and I agree with you. We do need affordable housing because when the people come here, these families, where are they going to live? I did not realize all of this was going on. So as I'm out and about, this is what I'm learning. So I have decided that I'm leaving my full-time job working with children, and I will be doing community outreach because when I was there, I was just amazed. I was just like a little child sitting in class learning so much. I didn't even know about that. So I want to thank my colleagues here and our manager because they have done a fantastic job with what we are faced with. And a lot of things aren't perfect, but we have to work with what we have and to try to make this world, and especially Kinston, a great place. It's already fine, but there are some improvements, and then it will be fantastic. So this is my prayer. This is my wish as we work together for everyone, because that's what it's all about. We have to live with each other, and we want our city to be the #1 city. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Seaforth. Les?
So as everyone know, my city is built on taxes. My city government get paid by taxes. A lot of people don't understand how that works. We pay taxes, that's how they get paid. So a lot of things that we see, even being in the community, when some of their people that work for the department heads, they say, we need a raise. If we give them a raise, where's it coming from? Taxes. So it's hard with this budget of trying to please everybody. It's not easy. Taxes, it runs our government. We don't get money like from the government or like in DC and say, here goes some money. This is what we're gonna send y'all to go help fund your city. Our stuff is just based on taxes. If we build up our tax base, that's how people get paid and how they get raises and stuff like that. It's funny how I joke about every day, me and the mayor, we always out and we always doing something. And I get with Pearl and all the council members, Sammy and Miss Seaford and Felicia, we all get together and we do things. They're like, uh-oh, we got to go to another meeting. But this is what we signed up for. We work full-time for a part-time pay, right? What we get paid, 1 cent a day, an hour or something? It's never about the money because all of us up here got, a good, healthy pocket. But
I intervene
but-
on that.
but with that being said, it's like Pearl said, the money that we get here, we help out, we give it to the community. I had a lady the other day get ready to get evicted. I had to pay her rent. 3 kids, 30 years old. There's things that we got to do to help people. And that's what everybody needs, you know, to get together and see that what we doing is for help. The police, I think all the department heads, because I see the emails y'all get. Ms. Blount got to answer all these emails and texts. They were like, I got to get the manager behind me. Let's just be quiet, just sit there. Sometimes it's things we can't say behind the scenes that you think we can say. And we never gonna badmouth none of the people up here because we know what we got to do. The developers, we see developers and talk to them every day. It ain't easy as y'all think because they want money too. So if they go develop a place, guess what they say? Can we get your land? And we'll put something on it. So I had to ask one the other day, but like, if we give you our land, can I get some money back out that land? Guess what he said? We'll negotiate it. You wanted me to give it to you free, but I'm a businessman too. So if you want me to give it to you, you're going to build something. Guess what he said? You're going to get the taxes back on it, right? There's always a catch-22 on it. So we got people saying we'll come build if you match our money. We'll build, you give us $500,000, and we'll come build you some affordable housing. Now we're gonna go back to the taxpayers. We're gonna take their money, give him $500,000, and we ain't got nothing built yet. We just going on a yes, you know what I'm saying? That's what people don't understand. Everybody's hands is out per se to do things. That's why I applaud everybody that work up here, the council, the mayor, the manager, the department heads, even the citizens. Everything is a circle of events. We got to pay taxes just like you got to pay taxes. The Intel pay the police and the fire and everybody else. So it's a little different when people say, we want this and we want that. It don't work like that. For us to take your taxes down, your property taxes, we all want to do it. I want to take everybody's property taxes down. I wish I was Michael Jordan or something. I could just say, yo, let's take the taxes down. Don't work like that. When we go to him and we be like, man, we got to take these taxes down. And we see Miss Donna, she be like, I don't know, we can't do but so much. And 1 cent equals like $200,000. 1 cent equals 200,000. So you figure when he come back and say we're gonna take 4 cents down, that's like what, 800,000 to $1 million for 4 cents? Who is coming from? It's coming back from the taxes. So the circle of events people need to understand that when you pay taxes, they got to come back somewhere. So we can't take but so much. And a lot of people say, we need this and we need to give this over here and we need to do this over here. It can't be done. It's just hard. You need what you need? You need somebody too, right? It's just hard. People think we could do tax. It ain't easy as they think. Some things we can't talk about, some things we can. But for one thing, we do know we can't just give and, you know, it ain't easy as what people think. I can't take $1 million from you and then I'm gonna take this $1 million and go pay the police department. Then you say, you gave the police all that money. But dang, you just called 911 10 times. And they came out there. How you think they operate? They didn't operate on just operating because they got it in their own pocket. I ain't giving no money to come here. So that's what people got to understand. We try to educate and explain what's going on in the city, but as far as the council, we doing better. We working together. We behind the scenes. We talk a lot. We're going to meetings, but we do need a little money to travel. Cause somebody said $2,500. I don't know if I could travel $2,500 with them. Whoa, it costs $115 to fill up me and his car. All of us got $100 a walk just to fill up. So
Take a moped.
I look like I might have to drive the moped or something. But with that being said, I just want to educate people and understand that it takes money to pay for everything. You got to give a little to get a little. That's why I just want everybody to understand it ain't easy as what you think. And then some things we don't control. We don't control housing. We the city council, but we don't control housing. Housing got their own board and they kind
We
of
got the board, we
thing.
got the housing board.
Yeah, they got their own housing board. So we don't, a lot of things we can't do and people think it's our fault. Y'all taxes go up, it's the mayor's fault. Ain't that's what they say? It's not his fault. It's not his fault if the taxes go up. The county assess the housing, right? They assess your taxes and they get the money. Then they filter it down to us. We don't even see it firsthand. They get it first. They touch our money and then give it to us. Give them what they want. Ain't that right how it go? Ask Miss Donna. She'll tell you. Well, that being said, we got a long night. Let's hurry up and get this ready, because I'm ready to go to bed.
Mr. Mayor, before you say what you got to say, let me just say one more thing. And that was a good point Councilman Leffert made about taxes. The county appraised property. The city don't do that. So when your taxes going up, it ain't cause we did it. It ain't cause we did anything. It's because the assessment that the county put on your property causes them to go up on your taxes. And then when you pay your taxes, it don't come to the city. You go down to the county tax office and pay your taxes. That's where you pay them at. Now, the county gets the money, and they get the city their portion or whatever it is. I think it's like 2 to 4%. So we getting half of what they get, right? But we all pay city and county taxes if you live in the city. At least I do. I don't know about nobody else. But the point I'm trying to make is this. And anybody that knows anything about money, anybody know anything about money, I don't care how much money you make, if you don't spend it correctly, you're never gonna have anything. You're never gonna have anything if you don't spend your money correctly. And I was always told by my parents that raised me, if you make $2, you better put 50 cents away. That's how my parents taught me how to manage my money. Because you can't make $2 and spend $2. Because you forgot Uncle Sam coming to get his too. So that's the point of having a budget. Sometimes you might have to strike something completely out in the budget and focus on it for the following year, because you got to take care of what's really important, and that's police department, fire department, rescue. Those are the biggest. If you look at the budget, that's where the majority of the money going. You know, and I agree 100%. I don't care what anybody say. If I don't take but $5, we need to start taking some money to put aside for investment for our future. Because Kinston got to grow. If it don't grow, guess what? You're going to have this problem the rest of your life. And with all the things that's going on out there, that industrial park out there, I'm telling you, these people need to be living in Kinston and not somewhere else. But most of the plants now, if you go to them, they'll tell you the majority of the people that work at the plants, guess where they live? In Pink Hill, Moss Hill, Grifton, LaGrange, live in Kinston. And they're going to take their money back where they made it. Well, they made it here, but guess where they're going to take it? The Goldsboro and Greenville. So, Mr. Mayor, it's on you.
Thank you. Wow, it's been an interesting night, to say the least. Just to kind of ride on global, the Transpark, I think Airbus is pretty much requiring some of their employees to live in the city of Kinston. So they're putting some incentives out there as they start to develop, and they recognize us as the county seat. But I'm going to go back to the budget, and as I was sitting here listening to the comments from you guys, and on the campaign trail, we thought a lot of different things about the budget, about the city, and about how these things actually come together, right? But there are laws, and the manager's job is to produce a healthy, financial, balanced budget, period, point blank. And that's what he did, you know, and before Ralph got here, we were going nowhere fast. So, you know, you guys were out last year, up in arms about the taxes and what was happening, what was going on. And in this day's society, a penny saved is a penny earned. So with this budget, you have your bills paid, you have infrastructure addressed, you have everything, every issue that's coming up on the calendar has already been addressed, and it didn't cost you another dime, right? Instead, we were able to put that money back. And as a council, yeah, you can see that our budget got cut, but that's the sacrifice we make for you guys, because that's what they just told you. It's not a night that goes by that one of them don't get called about some lights, some rent. I think we probably done more funerals than we've done council meetings. Really, really, it's been a pandemic around here because we get those phone calls after hours. You know, y'all might see us over here on closed circuit TV, but y'all don't get them phone calls. That's why we got those phones, because they keep them hot. So, you know, at the end of the day, you know, I got to appreciate Ralph and the staff, because we combed through this budget. And I told him a couple of days ago, I said, man, we've been hearing some stuff about this budget. So if we get in this situation, what are we going to do? So as soon as we asked, he was already here with that. So this council, this administration is working hard for the city of Kinston. When you guys got your eyes closed, some of them still working after hours, because I've been out there with them. Recreation department, you guys say, well, the kids ain't got nowhere to go, nothing to do. Call Scott. They'll find something for them to do. Call Major Jenkins over there when them kids out there smoking and drinking. Have one of them cops come by and be, I'm trying to tell you, because they do it all the time. They will come and befriend that child. They will come and show them a different way to go. And guess what happens when law enforcement show up? They put that stuff out, and they put that drink up, and they go, and then kids can play again all of a sudden. So they're trying to build this bridge. They just had a community session down at the library, right? So they're always there. I had a kid come over here. He left home and came to City Hall, so he wanted to see the mayor. Where your grandmama at? She in here somewhere. All up here at my podium all the time. I see you. So what I'm saying is that we are a family, we are a community. So, and we're doing our best interest for everyone, right? And it's not an easy task. So we want to hear your concerns, every last one of you. I don't care if you like me or not. I'm still your mayor, and I still got to do right by you just like everybody else. But what we won't do is the disrespect, the harassment, because some of these people, they work hard and they don't deserve it. Sometimes you don't even know what you're talking about. It's happening on social media, it's happening out there in space, but then when you get here with the attorney sitting next to me and the manager, some of these people with master's degrees and stuff sitting in here, they're not trying to go to jail for no foolishness. But what we have to understand, and we'll have Ms. Goodson prepare something for you guys so that you understand how the city finances actually work. This is not the Wizard of Oz. You cannot come up in here and we start rubbing a magic rock and we can start passing out gold coins. It's almost like spending all your bill money because you want to go to the club. You done partied all weekend, you were irresponsible, and now it's time for bills to come. And so you come to the city council and say, we need some money to pay the bills. Honestly, because that's what we hear when we talk about light bills and stuff like that. And then we ask ourselves, because we got bills, we got kids that's graduating from college and stuff like that. They keep that cash up hot. They need stuff too, right? So we understand, but we're parents too. We're regular people just like you guys. And we're not making six figures up here on this dais. So contrary to popular belief, you look it up, it ain't happening like that. So, but if you notice, like Ms. Blackwell said, there was a big cut to our budget for travel, because one of the things that you guys focused on last year was the fact that the last mayor was all over the place. It was $70,000 in travel, and he was the only one gone. So we said we're not going to do that. But we still been going to the leagues. We still been going to these meetings. We still been learning all we can learn. That's why I'm able to sit here on this dais now. There's no map to this. But the manager, his job by law is to produce a healthy, balanced, fun budget. And that's exactly what he did. So when we say, okay, Ralph, we're thinking about the people. What else can we do? He just told you guys just now. We will work on that also. So this was just a hearing so that we could hear what you guys had to say. Take a look at what we got. Take a look at where we are, and then trust that we got the right manager over here to do the right job for you guys. So we appreciate all your comments. We appreciate everybody's input. Despite what it might look like, my job is to make sure that we maintain order and everybody's respected equally. Period, point blank. So with that being said and done, a lot of the concerns you guys brought up, our department heads are here. They heard it. They taking notes. Trust me, somebody's going to get back with you. A lot of times they on this the next week before we even can meet again. So I don't worry about that, because they are here, they're listening, they're tuned in. They've been the glue to keep this city together before I even got on the council. I only been here, what, 4 months, y'all? 4 or 5 months. So Don't come in here expecting us to do what didn't happen 8 years ago. Y'all should have raised hell with them when they was up here.
Next time.
Next item. Okay, Ms. Blount, item 1, consider public hearing and approval of rezoning of property from 2 industrial to B1 general business.
Sure you don't want to stretch first? Y'all good? Thank you, Mayor. This is a rezoning request from David Edwards to rezone our property. The property is located at 708 Dr. Martin Luther King Boulevard. The current zoning is I-1 industrial, and they would like to rezone it to B1 general business. This is an area of the existing property. The property currently contains a commercial business that was formerly a convenience store with gasoline sales. This use was a legal, non-conforming use because convenience stores and gas sales are not permitted in an I-1 zoning district. In 2024, the owner removed 2 canopies, a utility building, and underground tanks from the property. The store did not reopen and remains vacant to this day. Representatives of the property owner have inquired about various uses, such as a convenience store or tobacco shop, and staff supplied them with a list of permitted and special uses allowed in the I-1 zoning district. The request is to change the zoning to B1. The B1 district is established as a district in which to accommodate highway-oriented retail and commercial services, businesses which generally have as their market area the entire town and surrounding area. The major objectives of this district are to encourage planned commercial and office parks, encourage vehicular access from service drives and other local commercial streets rather than directly from arterial streets, and to provide a location for major shopping facilities and land uses requiring large outdoor facilities. As far as zoning is concerned, nearby zoning from the north is I-1, south is I-1, east is RA5 residential, and the west is I-1 industrial. Nearby land uses to the north is Empty Lot and Granger Stadium. To the south is a convenience store and apartments. To the east is a empty lot and a Church of Nehemiah and convenience store. And then the west is commercial buildings. The property is located within the mixed-use future land use sector. The proposed rezoning is in compliance with the city's comprehensive land use, which recommends a mix that is primarily commercial/retail and office with multifamily residential uses and vertical and horizontal mixed-use development. This is a photo of the parcel with the existing building. Included in your package was a list of all of the permitted and special use land uses for the B1 zoning district, as well as excerpts from the 160D concerning map amendments. The Planning Board recommended approval of the request and its consistency with the Comprehensive Land Use Plan at its regularly scheduled meeting on May 12, 2026. Planning staff is of the opinion that the rezoning is in compliance with the comprehensive plan. However, staff would require parking to be clearly defined as there are driveways off both major thoroughfares and it is located at an intersection. Should the council approve the request, the motion should include whether the request is consistent or inconsistent with the comprehensive plan. I'll be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Okay, questions from the council?
I have a question concerning the inquiries about a convenience store/tobacco shop. So what will this facility be?
I'm not sure of what it may end up being. However, if you rezone it to B1, it can be any of those things that's on that list, on those 3 pages of land uses that you receive. So even if they came today and say it's gonna be a convenience store, they can legally change it to anything that's on that paper.
Yeah, you have to make the zoning decision in this type of case based on all of the allowed uses, not on what's represented to be going there.
And I would just remind council, at the last meeting, you just did new text amendments for tobacco shops and vape shops and convenience stores.
Right.
Now, that was my question, Ms. Blunt. We just, at the last meeting, talked about, vape shop and tobacco sales, and we put in a new ordinance on that, so that was my question. Would it apply to this particular change to B1, which you said it would?
Yes.
Correct.
My computer's loading a little slowly, but, and I know council doesn't want to do anything to detract from the stadium. And I'm wondering, is there any B1 nearby? I'm looking, but I'm not sure.
If there's one kind of counter corner. So
That's-
where Tony's is B1.
Okay, I see it. And it's not just that parcel, it's basically that entire block, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And my other concern, Ms. Blunt, is parking. I'm looking at that. Yeah, I'm looking at that facility, and I don't really see where there could be any parking. There's some proposal to move the place behind it or the place beside it for parking.
Well, one of the things, whenever the property owner comes and asks, we would require that parking be delineated on that property.
Okay.
And so that we can safely have people come off of Vernon Avenue as well as Dr. Martin Luther King without causing any traffic hindrances. And they have to also be able to maneuver on that parcel too. So it may be very limited parking, but it also depends on what the actual use is going to be.
All right, thank you.
You're gonna open it for the public hearing.
Okay, any more questions from the council? All right, this meeting's now open for a public hearing. Anybody speak in favor or oppose to the approval of rezoning the property from I-1 industrial to B1 general business?
Mayor, can I ask, is the applicant present?
I don't see him.
Okay.
I don't see the applicant or the representative for the applicant.
Anybody want to speak in favor or oppose to the rezoning? Okay.
So let me, okay, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Close the hearing.
You want to close the hearing?
Close the hearing.
Okay. If nobody has any comments on the hearing, we'll declare this hearing now closed. Go ahead, Mayor Pro Tem.
Okay, so Jim, speak to us again about the request, about the rezoning request, and with it being stated that the possible use is convenience store, vape shop, but our decision is based on what is listed here. You know, our concern is to make sure that we vote in such a way that we are in compliance, I guess, with the statute, like, because all of us have our feelings about, and I can say this, all of us have our feelings about this saturation, this heavy saturation of vape shops in our community. My question is, I want to make sure that when we issue this vote, that we're in compliance. I think I'm kind of like Ms. Seaforth, is that, in here, like when it was stated, you know, the use is convenience stop, vape shop. When you said vape shop, that's when,
Threw it all in a loop.
you said what?
She threw it all in a loop when she said vape shop.
I think that's an honesty. Because our feeling is, we don't need another vape shop.
100%.
So as we prepare to issue the vote, my question is, how do we make sure that we are not, that we're being, I guess, biased? Yeah, like we want to make sure that it's not,
Well, you have, in this type of case, you have the discretion to decide what you think in your good zoning judgment would be appropriate uses on this property. Unlike the next case, and I'll make that distinction when we get to it, but I'm looking at the list of permitted uses, and I may need for Ms. Blount to remind me exactly what the vape shop ordinance said that we recently adopted, but are they allowed as a matter of right in a B1?
No, vape shops, no, they would have to get a special use permit. But they will be permitted in B1. However, there were separation requirements, and so therefore, because of the separation, a vape shop would not be able to be placed there. A convenience shop could.
right,
But you could.
but it could, yeah, and I hate that the person, the representative is not here.
Right.
I understand. So
The way it reads though, if we prove it, then it don't matter what he put in there.
He
Am
could
I
put-
right on that, Jim?
There's three
because it's permitted.
there's
Right.
there's 3 pages of permissible uses
Uses.
in the package
Right.
that are allowed in the B1.
And if we rezone it as B1,
If you
then
rezone it as
everything on
B1,
them 3 pages is applicable.
any of those could go in there.
Right.
However, you
But-
still have to abide by
Yeah.
supplemental regulations,
But she's
which
saying
you've
that,
already done in your text amendment last month.
yeah, but she's saying it just don't go into the vape shop, just can't go in there. It's an extra, right?
I get that part, but what I'm saying is,
We-
if we make it a convenience store,
Mhm.
right?
Convenience
If
store,
if we make it a convenience store,
Mhm.
and they decide to sell vape products out of there, they can't do that.
But go back to, if you remember the text amendment that
Yeah.
you approved at the last month, there were conditions,
Right.
even for a convenience store.
Right.
That if they have a percentage of their display area or their floor area that is dedicated to tobacco, they would no longer be considered a convenience store,
Right.
but they would be now considered a tobacco shop. And so therefore, if they're considered a tobacco shop, they could not go there because of the separation
Right.
requirements.
Still wanna sell a corner of vape shop out, they can't.
I thought you just said you can't.
but when we look at, I mean,
I did.
Cricket, I think Seymour,
She just said you
Cricket,
can't,
they
though.
sell vapes too. Everybody sell vapes.
Yes, she did. Oh, time out.
So
So,
Royal Farms, I think, sell.
so
vapes.
then you just said you can't do it, right? I want to make sure we got a clear understanding. You just said if you got a corner and you want to put a vape in it, you can't do it. Ain't that what you just said?
Going back to last month's text amendment, for convenience stores, there was a requirement. If they have a percentage of their floor area or 50% of that is dedicated to tobacco, then they are no longer a convenience store. They're considered a tobacco shop. And because they're considered a tobacco shop, it has spatial requirements. It could not remain there at that location.
That's the part that I want to
Unless-
ask. They couldn't remain.
Unless they got a special use permit.
They could not because they cannot meet the separation requirements
From who?
Because of-
From what?
from the other convenience stores that are already there,
The one diagonally?
The one
across
right
the street?
beside it
Okay.
and what's
So it's just one
diagonal.
already close to it.
Okay, so it would be allowed, but for the separation requirement.
Absolutely.
Okay.
With the
So if
special
the-
use, like you
If the
said.
convenience store diagonally across the street were to close, then there's an opportunity for a vape shop at this corner.
You still got the one
Oh, you
across.
still got one beside
You got
it.
one
across the
beside it
street.
and
You
one
can't do it.
across the street. So it's two that are hindering them
It's
from
two
being
already
there.
Yeah, it cannot become a tobacco shop.
Okay, so
Yeah,
let me
but
ask
what
this
I'm-
question. I understand it can't become a tobacco shop. I got that part. But my concern is this. can they still sell the products out of the place if it's a convenience
We
store?
cannot restrict them from selling
Right.
tobacco, but it is a percentage. Every convenience store is not a tobacco shop.
Right.
But you cannot stop them from just selling cigarettes. You cannot just stop them from selling other type of, it is the amount of products and coverage on their square footage. So if you go into a tobacco shop, that, or even a convenience shop, they say they're a convenience shop, but really it's more tobacco there than today, because of the text amendment you all approved last time, you would now be considered a tobacco shop. Beforehand, we didn't have that. So we just had to call it for what it was. But now you do have those parameters in place.
But I'm still asking one question. If he had 10% of that store,
He cannot be a convenience store. He would be a tobacco shop.
Ms. Blount,
Blount.
wouldn't it make a little more sense if Mr. Edwards
It would.
would come and explain himself? Because it seems like he's putting the
would.
burden of proof on us, the council, and you to try to figure out exactly what he's gonna do. So I think we ought to table this until we can get him in here to talk about what's
But-
going on with his.
There is one other point that I want to make. We can table it, yes, but if we move forward and he can sell some type of tobacco product, we don't have, that's what I'm thinking, someone coming in to inspect. I'm just saying that he can do some things illegal.
Well, we
And-
can
and
go
the-
by and we can't go into the store and absolutely look at it. But you have to think about it. If we're trying to stop every convenience store from selling tobacco, then there would be no Sheetz, there would be no Royal Farms, there would be nothing of that sort. So we can't say you can't sell any tobacco. That I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Attorney, I think, isn't that against the law of us dictating the product, how much?
It's a lawful product.
Yeah. So.
What about that cannabis stuff they sell in the store, in that jar? where they
Right,
look
the
like
illegal
marijuana?
stuff.
That's what I'm concerned about. Can he sell that, period, if he get this change of zoning? That's what my question is.
I'm looking at the list of permitted uses and I don't see it in the list of uses.
So if you go back to the text amendment
Oh, that
that
says
you all
vapor.
approved last month, those type items, anything that is similar, it said tobacco, vape, hemp, CBD, or any type of similar product would classify it as a tobacco shop.
Now I'm clear.
And thank you for the question. I appreciate it because I'm sure somebody else had those questions as well.
Ms. Blunt, what does the current zoning allow him to do?
Very limited because it is industrial. So,
And the reason it was a convenience store is because it was non-conforming
right.
prior, before the tanks were removed and the store closed.
And to be real honest, if they hadn't waited so long to occupy it, they could have continued on. But since they were empty for more than 90 days, and our ordinance says if you are empty or abandoned, and they just emptied it, for more than 90 days, you have to come into conformity. So that's why they could not go back as a convenience store.
The fire,
It has been since 2024.
fire chief, you wanted to say something about that?
What I was gonna say is, you may have 3 pages of applicable uses for a B1, all right? And that's through zoning and planning. But rest assured that the fire department does annual fire inspections, and we have to do a certificate of occupancy on that building because it's been vacant. So if they choose a use that is not permittable by fire code, and the size of that building and the size of the lot is going to dictate what they can truly do in that store, then it will not be approved. Okay, so regardless if he has 3 pages worth, it all comes down to that structure. Now, if he demolishes it and builds something that is up to current building and fire code that meets one of those uses, that's a different story. But as far as taking an existing building, he's gonna be held to the code
And, I mean, he can't just do whatever he wants to in that particular building. All right, we're gonna have to make sure it's safe for whatever type of occupancy he chooses. And that's where Ms. Blount and I work hand in hand to make sure that that happens. And as far as the illegal stuff, Ms. Seaforth, with our annual fire inspections, now that that text amendment has been done, our inspector would notice that, directly send an email to Ms. Blunt's staff so that they could get that taken care of.
And I think the question was asked, how many uses are allowed in the industrial? Like I said, it's very, very limited compared to B1, and that is the purpose of them wanting to try to rezone. Because right now, the property is empty. It is on a major thoroughfare. So they were trying to find something that they can put there, so it wouldn't be empty anymore.
I still would like to hear from the owner, because I want to know if he gonna build a new building or when he gonna tear that one down. Because the parking is really gonna be a major issue for me. Because the store that was there, the gas station, you couldn't do nothing but drive through and get your gas and go on by. Or either park on the side of the street and be in the way of somebody else on a major road. So that's why I asking all these questions. People looking at me like I'm crazy, but I'm asking questions because I'm concerned about the parking, and I was concerned about the vape stuff. But it's just not just the vape stuff, it's the parking issue for me, being right there by Granger Stadium as well, you know.
Is that a motion to table?
Motion to table.
Second.
Okay, it's been motioned by Councilmember Hardy and second by Councilmember Lifford that we table the rezoning ordinance. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right.
Point of
Seeing
clarity,
none, motion
table
carried.
until when?
We'll table it till he come in. till we
No,
meet him.
no, we need,
No, we need a date.
we need a date, sir.
Yeah, we need a date.
Next meeting is the 16th.
16.
You think you can get anybody in, Ms. Blunt?
He got a letter. It was in your meeting package. I sent him a letter,
Okay.
so
All
I will
right.
reach out again.
So it's been properly motioned and second that we table the rezoning ordinance until our next scheduled meeting on the 16th. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Seeing none, motion carried. All right, moving on. Item number 2, Ms. Blunt, consider public hearing and approval of a special use permit request to operate a convenience store.
Is that the same thing?
That's item number 2.
No.
Ready?
Okay, thank you, Mayor. This is a quasi-judicial hearing, and I know the attorney is going to make sure that you stay in that RAM, so it's a different hat that you have to wear for this one.
Okay.
What you're going to hear is based on evidence submitted and factual information. All of those speaking in favor or opposition are going to be sworn in, and a special use permit requires a majority vote. Staff received a special use permit request from Samir Ali to operate a convenience store with a kitchen. The request is for 515 North Queen Street, the former Wise Cleaners located in the downtown district. The property is zoned B2, Central Business. All surrounding zoning districts are zoned B2. The adjacent land uses are the Allen Foster Law Office to the north, the Noose Regional Library to the west, a parking lot and single-family dwelling to the east, and Kinston Towers to the south. The parcel is 0.33 acres in size and contains a 2,442 square foot commercial building. And this is a photo of the building. This is a photo of the back of the building. This is the side of the building, and with the cleaners, I don't know if you can see the door, but that's where they would do the sliding door that can put the dry cleaning in your car. According to the comprehensive plan, the property is located within the downtown mixed-use future land use sectors. The proposed request is in compliance with the city's comprehensive land use, which recommends commercial retail and a high mix of high-intensity pedestrian-oriented use compatibly designed and arranged around the existing compact core. In your package, you received a special use permit criteria. The planning board recommendation, the planning board recommended denial of this request at their regularly scheduled meeting on May 12, 2026. Based on the following special use permit considerations, which, as I stated, are in your meeting package. On the screen is 4.5.3.51. Planning board said the operation of the special use will be detrimental to or endanger the public health, safety, or general welfare based on the nature of the request for a convenience store. Such uses sometimes promote lingering, especially when serving food. The proposed location is next to a high-rise building with a large elderly population. The site may create gatherings that could make people feel uncomfortable. Criteria 4.5.3.5.5, adequate utilities, access roads, drainage, parking, or necessary facilities have not been or not being provided. The former land use was a dry cleaners, and the board was unsure if adequate drainage and environmental health precautions would permit food to be prepared and served on the premises. Also, apart from a site plan, the parking is not delineated and may not suffice for enough parking and adequate traffic flow if the applicant plans to use the drive-through. I spoke with the Housing Authority, and they also expressed concerns regarding parking availability. During my observation, I noted that the parking lot near the front entrance of Kinston Towers remains full, while the adjacent parking lot is typically occupied at approximately 90% capacity. An additional concern discussed was the potential for individuals to park in either the library parking lot or the rear parking lot of Piggly Wiggly, and then cross the streets to access the store, which could create safety and traffic concerns. 4.5.3.5.6, adequate measures have not been or will not be taken to provide ingress and egress so designed as to minimize traffic congestion in the public streets. Per the North Carolina Department of Traffic count, the average annual trips in 2026 thus far with two-way traffic on Queen Street is 8,313. Southbound traffic is 4,324. At this location, there is no turn lane nor signal to safely enter or exit the property. In addition, the land use generates more traffic than the previous use as a dry cleaners. Staff is of the opinion that the request could be in compliance with the comprehensive plan and recommends approval with conditions for safer ingress and egress and site plan approval. I'd be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Okay, we have any questions at this time?
Can I give a overview of process,
Please,
Mayor?
please, sir.
So as Ms. Blount indicated, this is a quasi-judicial proceeding, unlike the last one, which was a legislative process in which you have the discretion to approve, deny, however you deem it in your discretion to be appropriate on the rezoning. With a special use permit, you sit like judges. And especially the new members, this may be the first SUP we've had during your service. So you sit like judges and you hear the evidence and you have to decide, does the evidence satisfy these criteria that are in the city's ordinance? And I was trying to refer you to a page, but there's a list
They
in
have it in their meeting package.
in the package. At the top it says City of Kinston Special Use Permit Conditions, and it starts with 4.5.4.5, and it's a page full of conditions there. Those are the conditions you need to be weighing the evidence against and determining whether the evidence presented by the applicant satisfies those requirements. Now, it's procedural due process that is required, unlike the legislative hearing, which means witnesses are sworn, the testimony is given under oath, persons with certain certain types of evidence has to be presented through expert testimony, like property valuation, environmental issues would require expertise, just like it would in a court of law. I mean, I've had council members tell me before, Jim, next time I got one of these, bring me a black robe because I want to look the part because I gotta sit and hear these like a judge. So you're to determine whether the evidence presented in this hearing satisfies these requirements. And you have to abide by those procedural due process requirements. So if there are any questions, I'll try to respond to them, but that's an overview of this type of hearing.
And Jim?
Yeah.
Now, is this, the mayor becomes the center still like he is with a public hearing?
He still runs the meeting, yes.
And runs like a public hearing?
Yes.
Except the witnesses are sworn?
Right.
And only expert witnesses?
On any topic that would require expert witnesses. It's not a blanket rule. It's just if that subject matter would require expertise in a court, then it would also require expertise in this forum.
Okay. If I understand this correctly, you will open the session, is that correct? Just like
Yeah, first thing we'll do is swear witnesses, and then give them a chance to.
Do we do that before he opens?
Yes, let's go ahead and do that.
Can we
Anybody-
ask questions to staff first before that gets open?
Sure.
Since I just did a presentation.
Did you have something else?
No, I'm asking if they have questions for staff, could they go ahead and ask those now?
Okay.
If they don't, I'm good.
Okay. Okay.
We can take a brief recess. We'll convene at 8 o'clock. Recess.
I need a preview. Yeah. This is completely different from anything you've seen. And it's one I don't see often, but it's whoever it's got witnesses here. It's treated just like every court. So who's going to do it?
You know what? I don't even want that. I'm sorry.
Okay, we can call the meeting back to order. We're back from recess. Ms. Blount, I think where we left off at is questions from the council. Councilman Hardy, you got any questions?
Oh, no. I asked what I.
Okay, Councilman Aiken? Mayor Pro Tem? Councilman Lippert?
No.
Councilman Seafour?
No.
All right. Okay, at this time, we'll have any witnesses for the hearing to come forward to be sworn in.
They're the ones gonna open the shop. They're the ones
Okay. Okay. The gentleman can step to the podium and state your name. Need name and address, Madam Clerk? Just name.
Good evening. My name is Imad Ali.
Good evening, Aziz Amari.
Well, what I have to say is we're opposing on opening a kitchen and a few drinks, like a mini mart, but mainly kitchen, hot foods, uh, and with a drive-through to make it more easier convenience. It looks like it can be added on. If there's anything that's gonna make it difficult for us, just let us know. If there is.
So this place that you opening, it's gonna be hot foods like
Yes, sir.
coming in and you're at it's like a convenience store. Is it like a restaurant?
It's like a convenience store with a kitchen in it, but like about 45% is be a kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
It's just take out and soft drinks, no vapes, no nothing like that.
Got.
No.
All right, thank you.
What are the hours? The hours of operation?
Hours. We haven't decided yet. I could mainly start from 6
Should be
a.m.
like breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
We'll do breakfast and
Open early in the morning, like about 5 o'clock in the morning. We can open to do like some breakfast, and till 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. It depends.
Now this just gonna be like a drive-through. It's not gonna be where people can park.
If they let us do it, so if we can get proof with the drive-through, and we can do like drive-through.
So I envision that people would be able to place orders inside the store as well as the drive-through.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. And so you would provide breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
And maybe we're gonna serve some food like late in the night, like something we get like good, like daily, like sandwiches, hamburgers, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
About how many employees would you employ on a shift?
Right now, we don't know if we're gonna be busy. Maybe it's gonna be more people, so 4 or 5 people. But if it's slow, maybe 2, 3.
Will you be serving other things like snacks, foods like snacks, chips, candy,
groceries,
bars?
snacks,
Yes, ma'am.
Soft drinks, as well as beer and wine. If it's
So would it be on the order of a mini mart?
yes, ma'am.
One of the concerns was the people didn't want people loitering or hanging around and causing any. You had the senior citizen place right beside it, and they didn't want no type of trouble.
Yes, sir. We don't like that either. We will definitely put a sign on the building and enforce that if may possible.
So there won't be no dining in eating though, right?
Yeah, he said
Mainly takeout.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
have to eat in.
Basically, we talking about a place like the Lunchbox. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Similar to that.
All right. Thanks.
but they were very, but, you know, the expectation is to be very clear is that, you know, one thing that we don't want to have happen is loitering. I love the idea, of, you know, another availability, of, you know, someone, you know, you know, you're talking 5 o'clock in the morning, you know what I'm saying, individuals, you know, get a quick breakfast, and then, you know, this may not be popular, but it is a reality for those who engage in nightlife. A lot of times, if the club lets out at 2, I didn't know that you were saying the late hours, but you know, there's nowhere right now that people have to go eat. So
Experience, I mean, if like we got like a good crowd, good customers and stuff, we might gonna open late at night too. Or we doing like probably 24 hours.
So the thing is, we want to see our city grow. We do want to see our city grow, but like she said, the loitering and other things that comes with it in business. But we wish you much success. We just don't want no. How would I say it? A lot of things going on. Loitering and because we got a lot of things. Where you want to go at is close by the towers, where it looks like we're getting a lot of phone calls on that towers. So we want to kind of keep that separate because we try to take care of that situation in the near future.
But
There
let
will
me-
be fencing and around the building, so that way it'll separate the building parking lot and the next door parking lot.
All right, good.
We will also have cameras around as well
Mhm.
to keep the building secure, and yeah, just throw some signs out there. No loitering. If anything, just call it a 911.
NC Deli. Is it NC Deli?
We haven't figured out the name yet. Is that
Okay. I know there's a deli, because you mentioned deli food.
Yeah.
I know there's a shop in Goldsboro that got pretty good food.
So y'all plan to put up a fence? What type of fence are you talking about?
anything that's applicable? Boards or what
Yeah.
kind of
Huh?
Yeah.
what kind of fencing?
What kind of fencing?
Yeah, chain.
Okay.
What fencing between?
Fencing.
There were
Yeah, but we could do like a rubber fence, right?
well
It
that's
be
why-
like a rubber fence between the tower and the store.
well, the fact that you mentioned that, I was just kind of curious to what kind of plans you guys had. That would definitely be something that you had to talk with the planning board about, the type of fence that can go in that commercial area. But some people might think you can put up a privacy fence or whatever, and then you got the fact that if you got them fenced in and there's a fire hazard, how do they get in and out of that? But
Yeah,
I
we're
was-
gonna go through the inspection when they come down there,
Yeah.
and we do whatever they ask for.
Okay. I was curious because the board met and they had some questions about the safety in the area, the parking, and the flow of traffic, and those types of things, especially being I think that's located right by the public library. We got 2 senior developments right there in that area. There's a lot of walking traffic, and there really is not a turn lane to provide for access in and out of your area. So what are your ideas on?
That's just a bench to the owner, like, and the workers, if you like, to hang out in there and bring your bad people and let them stay in there, drinking and do that. So you're gonna get like a lot of problems. But if you keep it clean, you don't have to worry about stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, I understand that, but what I'm meaning is, like, as far as the parking plan and the traffic flow in that area, because according to what the board's findings were, it's kind of the ingress and egress areas over there, and they're looking for a plan from you guys as far as how you plan to approach that in the future. As you develop this.
As far as parking,
Right. There are a few things down there. Parking is one of them, but I'm just. Since we're having a hearing right now.
Yeah,
what you guys wanna say about it?
well, with the parking, we're not doing dining in, so we don't have a lot of customers that's gonna be just sitting and parking and eating the food. It's just gonna be takeaway. They go in and get out. Speed limit there is what, 25? Should be easy to go in, easy to go out.
One concern, well, two. The building has been vacant for some years, and it was a former cleaners, and I'm concerned about the chemicals that were used there. What are your plans when you go in for the renovations? And will it be inspected also before you open
Yes,
your
ma'am.
establishment?
Yes, ma'am. It will be inspected and cleaned before we open. We also the planner also spoke to us about this as well. We should clear that out before getting it open.
Do you own any other businesses like this in Kinston or anywhere else?
As far as with food, we have Falling Creek Mart out there by past Walmart. It's
The Exxon gas station, that used to be Exxon?
before the Exxon gas station. There's a small kind of store with they sell propane as well. There.
Right.
Yeah, with
Yeah,
the tire shop. We had experience there. We do have a mini mart here on Queen Street, same on Queen Street with a drive-through, but no food. This is gonna be the second one with the food.
I have one in Greenville.
I don't understand what you just said.
And we got one in Greenville
Greenville?
with a kitchen, yes, sir.
We kind of at a slightly dilemma. The planning board, I think they disapproved it, and because a lot of people thought it was gonna be a vape shop, so and definitely no vape shop. So that's where my opinion might change.
Yeah, I have to like I'm pleased to hear that it's not another vape shop because like I said we saturated with vapes everywhere. But I have to be very honest. I am pleased that the consideration is being made of hot food being able to be served and made available for a population, and it's within walking distance. And I have to say I'm pleased of that.
Yeah, because that location, you guys probably pick up a lot of foot traffic real fast. That's why I asked you about, the traffic, the parking, and what have you. But it is an outstanding idea that we get hot food in these communities where, like you said, it's walking distance. So
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Ms. Holland. We do we're trying to switch to a different route instead of going with vapes and whatnot. We're trying to move on to a different route. We're selling, giving hot food.
Yeah. And I think it's been real clear. Like you said, you don't engage in a lot of loitering and things of that nature. Yeah. Yeah. I'm very well. Yeah.
Um, if all the questions are finished, I'll a little bit of guidance here.
Can I do cross-examination?
Absolutely.
So my question to the applicant is, you mentioned groceries. Can you elaborate on what you mean by groceries? Because some people think groceries are fresh produce. What is your definition of groceries?
Groceries would be snacks, chips. It would be cereals and stuff that you get from the grocery. Not major, but something convenient, like flour, milk as well. Similar to that, and bread as well. Bread.
Sundries. That's what we would call sundries, but they call it
Sundries.
groceries. And then in staff's closing remarks, I just want to remind you, as part of your meeting package, the recommendation from staff, if you should choose to approve, we highly suggest some type of conditions to address the parking, because you have to have parking for commercial building. 2, egress and ingress, being able to safely come off of Queen, being able to maneuver around the building, and to be able to exit safely.
Does staff have specific recommendations on those points?
Those points right there, to ensure that there is. So they have to provide a site plan approval. And then that site plan approval, it would include their plans as far as traffic control on the property and off of our major street.
Are we going to also consider the safety concerns as far as the chemicals? Because if you use the building, I don't know how the chemicals were disposed of. That's my problem. And then, we hear these stories years later that buildings have been used and they were not aware of these chemicals. So I'm not familiar with dry cleaning, but I know chemicals were used. And I don't know what type of materials were used in the wall. They might not be like ours. It might be a drywall. And that's my concern. When you
C4,
going
I
from that
think
to,
on that point, they would have to satisfy the health department
okay.
with respect to their kitchen.
And could we not put a condition that they require documentation from the environmental health
Yeah,
prior to us approving the site plan approval?
I would.
We don't have to,
You can either approve or deny.
With conditions.
Because it's food.
If you approve, she's asking for stipulations to be put in, like parking, site plans to incorporate parking and things like that.
You,
Elizabeth, would you like us to get back to you on another date, or just go ahead and do what we got to do now?
Go ahead and do what you got to do.
Understood.
When we talk about the stipulation, what about the concern I had? You suggested, would that be a part of it
Yes,
with the health department?
if council so desires.
Okay.
You can put that as a condition of your special use approval.
I'll try to summarize that if you like. So you can impose reasonable conditions on a special use permit. And the conditions that I've heard that you may want to consider are signage to prohibit loitering, excuse me. And littering. Fencing of the perimeter, some type of privacy style fencing. Security cameras, no vape sales.
Attorney, I don't mean to cut you off, but fencing, I don't know if they can fence that area.
Right.
You probably have to get something, the chief, they can fence that area in?
And it would also depend upon where their property line is, so that would be something, we can also put that as part of the site plan approval, that they have to show that they can actually put fencing on their property, on their site plan.
Subject to planning department review.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Attorney, I want to add the safety of entry and exit of the facility.
I've got that in the scope of, they would have to provide a site plan which would address parking and traffic safety concerns. and documentation from environmental health of suitability for a kitchen. You can also impose a condition of review if you're concerned about, if this is done right and done well, it can be an asset. If it's not done right and well, it becomes a real detriment to the neighborhood. So you can impose a 6 or 12-month review to have the applicant come back and assess how it's played out.
Mr. Mayor, I have a question for Chief Jackson. Do you have any reservations?
You need to be sworn.
Yep.
Thank you, Councilmember Aiken. I don't have any reservations with the knowledge and the information that's been presented tonight. In order for me to make a educated decision, I would have to have a detailed site plan and a review of the facility. To answer Ms. Seaforth's questions, dry cleaners use either a Class 1 through Class 5 solvent when they do their cleaning, and depending on how well they followed their recommendations from the chemical manufacturer is going to determine how contaminated that particular site is. And that's something that the DEQ would be involved with, and the Department of Health, to find out if that site is food friendly. But until I see a building layout, where the kitchen's gonna be, and also there will be fire suppression requirements for a kitchen in that building that will have to be added. So all that'll have to be permitted and inspected. It's going to be a detailed process.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you,
So we can approve tonight for them to get the convenience store. The kitchen cannot be added until we have approval from the EPA. Is that correct?
Health Department.
The Health Department, I'm sorry.
Right. Regardless of what use you put there, you still got to address the parking and the ingress and egress. So if they're going to do a site plan, it is beneficial that they go ahead and do the site plan with all of their proposed use, so they don't have to keep going back to an engineer or a surveyor to modify that site plan.
So I guess my thinking is you can address parking. You can address parking and create a convenience store. And then if they went back later to add the kitchen once it's approved by the EPA, that's what I'm saying is, the Health Department, excuse me. Someone mentioned EPA, that's why I keep saying EPA. Okay, but my thing is, are we waiting for it to be like a full approval before they obtain the building?
They have to get the approval anyway, right, before they can open. Because it's a change of use. You went from a cleaner's to a convenience store, so they gotta get a site plan approval anyway.
So what she's really trying to ask is, we already know they gotta get approval anyway.
Not
Her
just
question,
special use permit
her
approval.
question is, do we approve now and you gonna approve later? That's what her question.
But her question was, do you approve just the convenience store, or and come back and do the kitchen, or do you do the whole thing? My answer was, they have to get site plan approval anyway.
Anyway,
So go ahead and do the entire, whatever you're gonna do to the land, go ahead and get the approval now, so they don't have to come back for anything. They don't have to go and get another site plan approval, that's more money. So if they can just go to their engineer and say, this is all that we need to be able to do all that we wanna do, they can get all of that done at one time.
And I say this respectfully. I say this respectfully. What I don't want is because our concern, of course, is making sure that it is health friendly. If we're gonna put a kitchen there, I think we're supportive of hot food being made available. We're supportive of that, and we appreciate that, especially hearing that we're not going to have more vapes being sold. But our concern, of course, is the health-friendly kitchen. I don't want it to happen because it appears that if these qualifications are met, because we're very supportive of, our residents, man, having the hot food available. I don't want it to run into a possibility, and this is respectfully, that because if the majority of the planning board said, no, we don't support this, and the council is saying, we're in support of this, but we better make sure that it's health friendly, that, and I say this respectfully, but that roadblocks are not put in their way.
It doesn't go back to the planning board. This is an administrative decision. So this
Okay,
is
well,
planning staff.
Okay.
So they can literally bring it to staff and we
Well,
can work with
all
it.
right, and I was just wondering because Jim referred to some approvals coming back from the planning board. That's why the only reason I
I
referenced
said planning
that.
department,
Planning, well, yeah, the
Not-
planning department.
not planning board.
The staff, just the staff,
It's
not
the
the
staff.
board.
I was referring to the staff.
Right. Yeah, so it's just administrative. It doesn't have to wait a whole nother month to go before the planning board to get anything approved. Once you all approve it, it is done. If you put a condition up there to say, come back in 6 months, it'll come back to you, to city council, for you to get an update on wherever they are, if there's any hiccups or road, or how they're doing.
All right,
Right, yeah. So the
So-
same thing that we do for dance halls and things like that, it just come back to the city council.
all right, so Mr. Mayor, so, so can we approve it now? And I can just make a motion to approve it, or we gotta go through? With a 6 month,
You could, unless you disagree with the conditions as summarized, you could make a motion to approve with conditions as stated.
yes,
If you want them to be repeated, I'll try to do that.
no, I'm good.
I think the planning department has already pretty much addressed those, and their request from us is that if we do approve that, we approve it with those recommended adjustments in there. So that's really the issue at hand right here.
So this adjustment,
Yeah, I mean, they've asked that if they do this, they want this done. Those are part of the provisions of them doing that. That's the covenant on this particular project, that they already asking for this. And they recommended if they don't do this, then we don't do this.
Got it.
In so many aspects. So.
So what would you say? You would say the same thing. We do it with a provision to come back 6 to 12 months, right? All right, that's it.
I mean, Jim laid it out.
Is it 6 or is it 12? That we need to know that.
What you want? 12 months, because they give them time to do things. What you say, Ms. Solomon? What you say?
I was telling you that it was.
Is it doable in 6 months?
12 months. She said 12 months. He said 12, oh,
We had said that.
Is it
So
12
we're
months
saying we're
too
giving them-
long or too short? 6 months is okay
12.
to do all the things that they're asking about?
12, they do 12.
It's your call. It's whatever y'all want to do.
That was saying, I took the notes.
I make a motion, we,
Still in the hearing. Still in the hearing.
Make sure.
Yeah, we're still in the hearing.
Opposed to it. I don't think.
Gonna be here all night. Yeah, boy.
You gotta come back in 12 months.
Or you can come back in 6.
You gotta have time to get the building fixed up, operational. And you gotta have a process for us to deal with you, and you want it to be a positive one, so make sure you have time. Your hood system is gonna take probably 2 to 3 months to get there. You can't go to Lowe's and buy the hood. It has to be made. And then it
installed by a licensed contractor. That's gonna take lots of time.
Let's make it 12 months. It's gonna sound like it's gonna take them 3 to 6 to get stood up.
You give them time to deal with it.
Make a motion. Oh, he got to see if there's anybody else.
So, Mayor, talk to the applicant, and with Chief Jackson, it's gonna take them around 3 months to get a hood system and their kitchen. So they would like the 12-month review.
Okay.
With the understanding that they'll get the approval, they can go ahead, once they get the approval with the conditions, they can start doing whatever they gotta do now and just come back for the 12-month review.
Okay, that sounds reasonable. Okay, at this time, is there anyone else that would like to speak in favor or opposition to the rezoning?
Who was sworn in?
Tim? Okay. Tim, you want to speak, sir? Huh? He with them? Okay. That's the actual applicant? Okay, you should have been up here already. You'd have probably known, you supposed to have been up here already.
Okay, close that.
All right, so if he. I think he wanted to speak.
Oh, he does.
Oh, no, Hey, how you doing?
All right, how you?
Yeah, thank you for making me come in. I appreciate it. My name is Samir Ali. I'm the owner of the building. Yeah. I was gonna ask you to come over there and discuss this with them, So I could make sure that everything's be like reasonable, nice. So thank you, whatever you want to ask, I guess negotiate with them, if you don't mind. I just came late, that's why.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you. At this time, if we don't have any more in opposition of for this special use permit request, we're gonna close this hearing. Hearing's closed. Thank you, sir. All right.
Mayor, I motion to approve this based on what the attorney said for the 12-month provisions.
Okay, it's been properly motioned by Councilmember Lifford that we consider the public hearing and approval on a special use permit request to operate a convenience store with the added provisions for the comprehensive plan for the approval of attention, for the approval with conditions of a safer ingress and egress and a site plan approval. Also, environmental health for the kitchen, for the clients to come back for a 12-month review. At this time, can I entertain a second?
Second.
It's been seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Solomon. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Seeing none, motion carried. Right. Can y'all believe that was just page one? All right, we're gonna move on to the action agenda. Consider approval of a selection for professional services for Essential Single Family Loan Program 27 and Urgent Repair Program Jordan.
Good evening, council. I'm going to be pretty quick. I just wanted to let you guys know that the city has been awarded $182,000 in funding for the Essential Single Family Program to provide rehabilitation assistance, and $137,000 conditionally awarded to us in funding from the Urgent Repair Program to provide emergency repair assistance for citizens of Kinston. Both programs require environmental testing before any rehabilitation work can begin. Staff issued and advertised a request for proposals to obtain firms to provide lead-based paint, asbestos, and radon testing services. After reviewing the proposals received, staff recommends awarding lead-based paint inspection and radon testing to the EI Group and asbestos inspection to Kearney Construction and Consulting. Staff requests council approval of these contract awards so rehabilitation work for both programs can move forward. And I could take any questions.
Okay, thank you, Jordan. Any questions from the council?
Jordan, so this is a grant, right? That you received?
Yes, sir.
All right. A motion to approve.
Any more questions from the council? Hardy, Aiken, Solomon, Ms. Seaforth. Okay, it's been properly motioned by Councilmember Lippert that we consider approval of selection professional services for Essential Single Family Loan Program 27.
Second.
Second by Mayor Pro Tem Solomon. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Seeing none, motion carried. Item 2, consider approval of an ordinance to close utility CIS software upgrade capital project. Ms. Donna Goodson.
Thank you, Mayor. In September of 2022, the City Council approved the establishment of a capital project fund to pay for the expenditures related to the upgrade of the city's CIS and billing system. The project was funded with a transfer from the Public Services Fund. All the final expenditures were satisfied in February of 2026, and all requirements were met, and we're asking you to approve this ordinance to effectively close the project budget. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions from the council?
No.
No questions from the council? At this time, I entertain a motion.
Motion?
Motion by Councilmember Aiken, second.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Hardy. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All approved have the same right. Seeing none, motion carried. Item number 3, consider approval of an ordinance amendment to close the inventory lead service pipelines project. Ms. Goodson.
Thank you, Mayor. On April 2nd, 2024, the City Council approved the establishment of a special revenue project fund to pay for the expenditures related to the physical testing, record review, and statistical analysis sampling to identify the service line material on both the city and customer sides of the meters. The project was funded with a loan from the State Water Infrastructure Authority and a transfer from the Water Capital Reserve Fund. All final expenditures were satisfied in June of 2025. Our requirements were satisfied. We're asking you to approve this amendment to officially close the project.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the council? The questions at this time, I entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Councilmember Hardy.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Lippert. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Seeing none, motion carried. Moving on to item number 4, consider approval of an ordinance amendment to close fiscal year 2019 assistance to the Firefighters grant. Ms. Goodson.
Thank you. On September the 8th in 2020, the City Council approved the establishment of a capital project fund to pay for expenditures related to the purchasing of masks and self-contained breathing apparatus, as well as mobile and portable radios. The project was funded with the grant obtained from the Department of Homeland Security, local matching from the Deep Run Volunteer Fire Department, and a transfer from the general fund. All final expenditures were satisfied in January of 2021. Our requirements have been met, and we're asking to approve this amendment to officially close the project budget.
Okay. Any questions from the council? No questions. At this time, we entertain a motion to consider approval of the ordinance amendment to close fiscal year 2019. Motion by Councilmember Lippert. Second. Second by Councilmember Aiken. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Seeing none, motion carried. Moving down to item number 5. Consider approval of an engineering service agreement with Sidebotham Substation Services for the City of Kinston Peak Load Reduction Project in the amount of $198,850. Steve Miller.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. This was an item that we discussed a couple weeks ago at the budget retreat. It is a significant project, but what I want to share tonight is some of the same information, a little bit additional information, just talk about this and where we want to go. In our electric system, the city of Kinston pays for power. We don't make power. So we have to buy power. We pay an energy cost, we pay a demand cost. And under the agreements that we have to buy power, we are able to reduce our peak loads, our demand, by a certain amount. The amount that we are allowed to reduce our loads is basically 20 megawatts, 20,000 kilowatts. Before 2023, any reductions had to be on the customer side of meters. So industries that have large generators participated in programs where they could reduce peaks. In 2023, we amended our full rate public power purchase agreement and allowed us to be able to do that on our side. So now we can do it on the city side. Over the years, several of the industrial customers have dropped out. They don't participate anymore, even though they were allocated parts of that reduction. So today, we have the opportunity to achieve that reduction ourselves with our own generators. But it means we need to put in the generation to be able to do it. So that's what we were looking at. We've talked about this since 2023 when we approved that agreement. It was approved in September of that year. All of the members, like Kinston, adopted resolutions to support the new amendment. So that is what we did. And since then, we've been talking about it because it is a significant investment. We wanted to make sure we were doing the right thing. Like I said, 2024 is when we could start putting it on our side. So that's what we're looking at. The unused amount we have today is just over 11,500 kilowatts. So what we're looking at doing is putting together a project to address that. We've talked about rates. We've talked about how rates are going to keep increasing in the future. Today, in the orange column, where it says April 1st, 2026 at the top, our demand rate is $23.56 per kilowatt that we pay every month for however much energy we use during the peak period. Under these rate changes, you can see the orange lines going across the bottom of the page showing future increases. The 4.5% it showed April 1st, 2026, that's happened. Our wholesale costs went up. We did not increase our retail bills to our customers. That was based on the designs that we put in place back last October. We wanted to cover that. But you can see the next 3 years, they're talking about 5.5%, 4.5%, 4.5%. These are estimates, projections that the Power Agency and Duke have come up with, so it's things we've got to be prepared for. You can see in the top, the other red circled area by April 1st of 2030, if the projections are right, our demand cost will have increased from $23.56 to $28.81. That's $5 per kilowatt. So that is significant. When we look at what this is going to mean for us, that's a 22% increase in that demand cost. So the project we're looking at to try to shed 10 megawatts or 10,000 kilowatts is putting in a series of generators, cost of about $11 million is what we're projecting right now. This will save us in that peak demand at the current rate, $2.6 million a year. There is operating costs. If you're going to run generators, you got to fuel them, you got to repair them. Even deducting operating costs, we expect our annual budget savings to be $1.8 million. Again, this is at current rates. If that rate increases $5 per kW like they're projecting, we would save an additional $600,000 if we do this project and have it in place by that time. So those are big numbers. It's all big numbers. But over the history of a generator, generators typically 20 to 30 years. It's a 20-year mark, the short life, the city would save over $37 million. So this is why I feel like this is a worthwhile project that definitely would help us control our rate increases in the future if we can offset it with savings on this side of what we have to pay for power. So that's why we are very interested in moving this project forward. To do that, first step is doing the engineering work. They need to design the project. They need to pick a site. They need to figure out exactly what type of work has to be done at the site, exactly what generators we can buy, look at the costs of that, revise our cost options, and figure out if we want to do the whole 10 megawatts, do we want to do something different? Those are all options that we can look at as we do design work. And then we get into procurement. The life of this project from day one, if we start design work, it's probably 2.5 to 3 years before they're operating. It's about a 2-year window to try to procure the generators and get them on site. You got design work ahead and you got installation after. So you're looking at that much time to try to get these in if we're buying new generators. The cost to do this for this possible $11 million project is $198,850 for the engineering work. So if we get through that engineering work and we decide at any point we don't want to do this, the savings don't look real, whatever the issues are that come up, we can stop. And our commitment had just been the $200,000. So that's what we're asking for at this point to move forward, simply doing that piece of it. There's some details on the schedule. Like I said, overall, it's going to be 2.5 to 3 years probably to get the project in operation. And all we need to do at this point is just approve the engineering agreement with Sidebotham Substation Services. They're a company out of Fayetteville. We hadn't worked with them on a large scale before since they participated in our engineering RFQ for electric work. We've called them in and we've worked with them side by side on a couple small little things that we were working at to make things better at some substations. They're very knowledgeable. They seem to do very good work. So we've been very pleased so far with them. So tonight, what I'm asking for is simply approval of the engineering agreement for $198,850. In a few months, they would be through most of their design, and we'll be back to talk more about this project and where we want to go as far as actual procurement for generators and construction. So I'll be glad to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Steve. Questions from the council?
So this ties in well with the POD, the point of delivery.
It will not be at the POD. We can do it anywhere on our system. Typically, the best place to put them is near a substation, but it would not be POD. We don't have the room there to do anything. We do have room at some other stations, like the one we have on Hull Road by Caswell Center. We have one out by the airport that's got space next to it that we could easily do this. So we've got some options on locations.
But the listening audience, the point of delivery is like you have a house, you got one electric line going to your house. The city of Kinston used to have for years, till recently, one line coming from Duke Energy into the city. Cities like Greenville has like 4 points of delivery. With us getting the second POD, point of delivery, it attracts more companies into Kinston when they see you have a backup, like you have 2 lines going to your house instead of one, and it's all on a circular type thing where you can have a backup system, and industries like that seeing to come in your town to bring their interest into town.
Any more questions from the council? Anything else from the council? Okay, at this time, we'll consider the motion to approve the engineering service agreement with Sidebotham Substation Services for the City of Kinston Peak Load Reduction Project for the amount of $198,850. Motion by Councilmember Lippert, second. Second by Councilmember Hardy. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Stand none, motion carried. Okay, Steve, while we still got you, number 6, consider approval of award bids for 2026 concrete replacement project to Ernie Everett Site Prep in the amounts of $70,744 for sidewalk replacements and $112,477 for curb and gutter replacements.
Thank you, Mayor. In order to do the work we need to do in these sections that we have, we need people, equipment, and we need money. We have to have all three. We set up our budgets based on being able to have full staff and do our work and get all the things done that we want to do to make sure that we're keeping up our city and making it look good. Unfortunately, in our street and stormwater divisions, we have been struggling to find people. When we put together our budgets, we had 9 vacancies in these 2 sections, which typically have 21 people. That's almost half your staff is vacant. It's very hard to get anything done if you're dealing with that type of staffing. At the same time, we recognize that we need to take care of concrete and asphalt and things like that in our city. So we got together with our superintendent. Since we didn't have staff to do it ourselves, we looked at what can we do to try to get somebody in to help us do this, hire a contractor. So we put out bids to do both sidewalk replacements, which is paid for out of the street budget, which is general fund, and to do curb and gutter replacements. That's part of our drainage system, and that's paid out of stormwater. So we put out the bids, we got prices back. We had over 50 locations for curb and gutter repairs. We have 60 locations for sidewalk repairs. They're on the list that were included with your agenda. The lengths of all these repairs are different. They're not doing whole blocks. They're fixing sections that are bad, that are trip hazards, that aren't going to function because they're not lined up anymore and they're falling apart. We did the advertisements. We did get 3 bids. I included the bid tabulation. The apparent low bidder on both the bids was Ernie Everett Site Prep. They had a bid of $70,477 for sidewalk repairs and $112,177 for curb and gutter repairs. Funding for the sidewalk repairs is available in other operating lines within the street budget. So all we will need to do is move that money together to be able to do that work, and it's coming out of other lines that typically would pay for concrete, asphalt, that same type of repair. So nothing special needed on the funding side for that. In the stormwater budget, they do not have that type of money available in operating accounts. However, because of all the vacancies they've had, they do have funds that were budgeted for salaries that because we didn't have people, those funds have not been used. So what I would like to do is look at transferring funds that were not used for salaries to be able to cover the cost of the contractor. That's still within in that same budget, still within the stormwater org. We're not asking for any additional funds for either part of this. It will all be paid from money that's already budgeted. The other option would be to not do it or to reduce costs, but like I said, I think the needs around our community are significant enough that we really would like to move forward with getting these repairs done and make things better in the different neighborhoods that we have. So I recommend the city council consider awarding the bid to Ernie Everett Site Prep in the amount of $70,477 for sidewalk repairs and $112,177 for curb and gutter repairs. If council approves this award, then we will be back. I'll work with Donna and we'll be back with the budget amendment to transfer the funds to the correct lines to be able to make the contracts happen.
Steve, we would not need to do a budget amendment since it's a budget transfer within the same org.
Okay,
So-
even for the salary ones?
Yes.
Okay, all right. You're off the hook. If you approve it, Donna will take care of it.
So, Donna, it's already been approved.
The money has been budgeted in the current year's budget, and but without our city statutes say that the city manager and I have the approval to move within lines within an organization without having to take additional measures of taking it to council.
Got it.
Okay, any more questions from the council?
Hey, Steve, I know this might not relate to this particular project, but I have to ask because I bet I've been on Charlotte Avenue and William Street at least 10 times this week. Where are we at with the repairs of those roads?
The repair of the streets that are in Lawrence Heights is still waiting on completion of the work by the contractor. They had done the pipe installations. We have been back and forth with their attorneys and our attorneys trying to get them to resolve the testing of the pipes to make sure they're good and then finish the contract and do the paving. We've been in this kind of holding pattern here for a couple of years now trying to get them to finish this up.
This company's on the ban list, right? As it is.
If we're allowed to, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to be facetious or anything, but you know, I've been out there, I've been on those 2 streets. I know all week, people complain about how bad they are and tearing up cars and so forth. So I just want to make sure the public know that I didn't forget to mention it, and that's why I brought it up. Cause I didn't know it had to do anything with this sidewalk and type stuff we're talking about here on this project.
Yeah, if Mr. Colley wants us to share it all, we will, but I don't think we're there yet.
None, Jim? You can say something about that, Jim?
That's really a topic for closed session.
Steve, is this a complete list of the concrete curb and gutter removal that you have attached here that you plan to do?
Say it again, I'm sorry.
Is this the list of the places you plan to replace on here?
Yeah, there's a list there for curb and gutter and one for sidewalks.
Okay. Okay. All right. That's interesting because I think I saw Charlotte Avenue on here somewhere. I don't know if that's the area that you.
And that's for sidewalk work. It's
Sidewalk
not for
work.
the street repairs.
Okay, any more questions from the council? All right, at this time, we can entertain a motion.
Motion.
It's been motioned by Councilmember Hardy, second. Second by Councilmember Lippert. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Seeing none, motion carried. Okay. Moving on to item number 7. While we still got you up here, Steve, consider approval of award bid for 2026 road improvement project to Coastal Contracting Company. The amount of $904,355.96.
Thank you, Mayor. The 2026 road improvement project was bid in May. It was bid twice. We didn't get enough bids the first time. This project is in the formal range, so it had to be rebid. The rebid was due on the 14th. We again had the same 2 bidders present. And as you said, the low bid is $904,355.96 from a company called Coastline Contracting. Funds budgeted for this project were $705,400. We also have got $30,000 that were budgeted for asphalt crack filling, which we would do as part of the project. And then we have additional funds that are already in the Transportation Capital Improvement fund that have not been used for anything of $90,663. Altogether, that adds up to $826,000 and change that could be applied toward this contract if we wanted to award it. Like we mentioned about the salaries for the street division are similar to the stormwater division. So there is excess salary monies in this group that could be used as well. At this point, we're projecting to have over $98,000 in salary money that will not be used because of vacancies. There's also another $41,000 in benefits associated with those positions that won't be used. What I would recommend would be to transfer $95,000 from the street section salary account to use toward this project so we can accomplish the full project. If we add that to the other funds, we'd have a total of $921,063, which is a little bit extra above whatever's in what the bid amount is of $904,000. We would move all of these funds into the transportation capital project. What that does is that will keep those funds in that project. We are not asking for any contingency as part of this award tonight, but the funds would be in that project budget. It will roll year to year until you need them for this project or for something else. If we did have to make any changes to increase this contract amount, we'd have to come back to council to do so. But I'm fine with doing that. I think we can work with this contractor and make sure we stay within the budget. So the contractor we hadn't worked with before, but we have checked references. They provided a 2-page list of projects they've been doing the last 2 years. They've worked for Smithfield, Selma, other towns. The people we've talked to, they've all been very pleased with the contractor and said they've done fine jobs for them. So I think we're satisfied that they can definitely do the work based on what they've done in other locations. So again, I guess in the end, my recommendation tonight would be for City Council to approve the full award of the project, $904,355.96 to Coastline Contracting. Moving these funds to a capital project will require a budget amendment, which would be on your next agenda if you approve the award. Our second, if you want an option, your second option will be to cut streets out and reduce the cost. The biggest issues that we saw in this bid, asphalt. Many of you may know asphalt is petroleum based. So when gas is up, asphalt is up. The asphalt unit prices in this bid were up 22% over last year. The milling work, which is all machines that do that work that run on that same fuel, those costs went up 50% over what we paid the last time we had a contract. So that's what drove the prices up above our budget. I'll be glad to answer any questions y'all may have.
Okay, thank you, Steve. Any questions from the council? Any questions from the council? Okay. All right. That being said and done, item number 7, I'll entertain a motion to consider approval of the award bid for the 2026 road improvement project for Coastal Contracting Company in the amount of $904,355.96. Motion by Councilmember Solomon, second by Councilmember Aiken. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Mayor, Mayor, if I may, what was written in the agenda is the incorrect line. If you look at the memo, the correct name of the company is Coastline Contracting.
Coastline.
I want to give it to somebody that doesn't exist.
So it's Coastline and not Coastal.
You're saying this should be close line?
Coastline.
The name of the company, if you look at the memo, is Coastline
Coastline.
Contracting.
Coastline. There's Coastline in Coastline in here. Okay. Make that correction. We're going to consider the approval of the award bid for 2026 road improvement project to Coastline Contracting Company in the amount of $904,355.96. Motion by Councilmember Solomon, second by Councilmember Liverett. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Seeing none, motion carried. Thank you, Steve. Okay, Major Jenkins. Consider approval of a special event permit for HL Church Revival. FHL Church Revival, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. Mayor, City Manager, Council, I'm here requesting approval for FHL Church Revival. This is a 3-night event, tent revival that's going to be held at Pilsen Park. The dates are Wednesday, June the 24th, and through Friday, June the 26th, from 6 to 8. We have no objections, requesting that the insurance certificate be in our hand contingent to the approval of the council.
Okay.
And I'm here to answer any questions.
No problems. Thank you, Major Jenkins. Any questions from the council?
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else from the council? All right, this time we entertain a motion to consider approval of the special event permit for HL Church Revival with the applicant to provide the city of Kinston a copy of the insurance for the event with the city of Kinston listed as the insurance certificate holder.
Motion.
Motion by Councilmember Lifford, second.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Hardy. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Seeing none, motion carried. Thank you,
Mr.
Major.
Mayor, can I ask, Major Huey's got a real quick question. We want to thank you for the forum that you all had recently. When is the next one scheduled? Somebody asked when
Yes,
the
sir.
next.
We're scheduling the next one for July.
Okay, and it be at White Rock Church or
No, sir. That's going to be at the public library again.
Public
We'll
Library?
do a total of 5. This will be our second one.
Okay, okay.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate everything you've done.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Major. Okay, we'll move on down to information and updates. Item number 1 in the information updates, APA expenditures update as of 3/31/26. Ms. Goodson.
Thank you, Mayor. This is just a summary of the ARPA funds that was awarded to the City of Kinston in the amount of $6,387,015. As of March 31st, 2026, we have expended $6,379,289, with remaining funds to be expended of $7,727. And those are for the remaining improvements to the training facility for the fire department, and they will be expended by December 31st, 2026.
All right.
This order has already been created.
Okay.
Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the council? No questions? All right, Ms. Goodson, we'll move on to fiscal year 25-26 quarter 3 budget status.
Thank you, Mayor. In your packet is the interim financial report summary reflecting 9 months or 75% of fiscal year 25-26 and does not include any accruals. It does represent the activity from July 1, 2025 through March 31st, 2026. Combining all the funds, the city received $86,995,280 in revenues and has expended $74,545,606. The general fund specifically derived 77% of its revenues from 3 major sources: property taxes at 57%, local government sales tax at 15%, and state shared revenue franchise tax of 5%. The city's overall expenditures, both personnel and non-labor, show spending at an average of 65%, which is proportional to previous years. You have a summary, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, any questions from the council? No questions? Okay, we're gonna move on to item number 3, fiscal year 25-26, quarter 3 investment report.
Thank you, Mayor. In your packet's an interim investment financial report summary. It shows you the investments of our funds in the amount of $104,208,145, and then our other interest-bearing account is our First Citizens Bank Central Depository. Total interest for the year through March 31st has been $824,461, and the amount that has been allocated to the general fund is $175,464. And all the investments do comply with NC General Statutes 15930 and the City of Kinston's investment policy at the time of purchase.
So that mean I can get a raise.
It's already been budgeted.
Took care of it.
Okay, any more questions from the council? Mr. Hardy, Aiken, Solomon, and Seaforth. Okay, thank you, Donna. Item number 4, update to council and public on current downtown projects and Juneteenth. Leon Steele.
In the interest of time, we can do this, or we can save it for the next meeting. Do we need a motion for that? What?
I got a proper motion by Councilmember Lip.
So, yeah. Yes,
Okay, Leon, I think you on.
Okay. Yeah, Juneteenth is coming up, and we need to get the word out for that. I want to start with this first. We recently received our certification for affiliate Main Street program from our state and national Main Street organization. And also the social media followers has exploded from 760 last year to over 10,000 this year, with over 1.3 million national and international interactions. And of course, all of our social media is focused on downtown, but it really benefits all of us in the county and the city. It's okay. All right, so this Thursday we have our second block and roll. The block and roll we had week before last was very well attended. We were really happy with that. We were really lucky to have some good sponsors, and we could use it 1 or 2 more. But we're managing with this. This week we have the Lost Artists, when they play all kinds of songs that everybody likes. So everybody's welcome. It's a free event downtown, outside on Heritage Street, and the weather's supposed to be really nice Thursday night this week. If you want to stay up to speed on what's going on downtown with us, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, because we saw posts that people didn't know about the last one we had, even though we had just put the word out there big time. We don't have a newspaper, so follow Downtown Kinston and try to stay up with us. Okay, we just did our inaugural walk across North and Mitchell, North and Mitchell Street for the Dragon Park crosswalk with the glow-in-the-dark giant dragon footprints, a visual connection from the downtown right to the park, right to the dragon, actually. We had a tremendous turnout, thanks to everybody who showed up for that. There was face painting and a dragon storybook telling afterwards in the park from the library, so they were good partners with us as well. This was a collaboration between Downtown Kinston Revitalization and Smart Kinston, and the crosswalk was part of our overall vision for that intersection with the Shirley Herrick Memorial Garden, to make that more of a gateway entrance into downtown. But we also needed the connectivity to the park, which was separated by the street, and there was also a safety measure for the kids who crossed the street there and play. And that was paid for by an arts grant from the Arts Council, so thank them as well. Juneteenth is coming up on June 20th. That is a parade that's being organized by Mr. Ed Hardy. He is looking for participants in the parade, sponsors for the parade, volunteers to help with the parade. It takes a lot of energy. There are lots of wheels, as we know, associated with putting on an event like this, and it costs money. So get up with Mr. Hardy at 252-525-0323. You know him through the Raymart radio show. and excuse me. The parade starts on June 20th at 3 p.m. The route is the same as the Christmas parade. Granger Stadium is the staging, and it goes to Queen Street and down to Caswell. At the end of this month, on June 25th, we have a film crew coming to town from Wake Forest called Roseland Films, and they are going to be documenting a lot of different things to do with downtown in particular. It's part of a Main Street program. I will be there with them the day and the night. They were going to show the daytime vibe, the nighttime vibe, the architecture, some interiors, stuff going on in restaurants, in the kitchens and shops and that sort of thing, and it's going to be quite the adventure. All the artwork that we have around town, all the public art, they've got a massive list, and they're whittling down the actual filming schedule right now, but that will take place on June 25th. And that's all I have. Any questions?
I don't have a question, Leon, but I want to make a comment. Thanks for the last band that came down on Heritage Street. I enjoyed myself that evening. And thank you for bringing those different artists into town to provide music and a good time for people.
Yeah, glad you did. Thank you. That was Dakota Blue.
Leon, I would also like to give a shout out to the Children of the Gate that helped make the ribbon cross.
Yeah.
So,
They made a good turnout. Thank you.
Anything else from the council? Okay. Thanks, Leon. Great job. Appreciate you. Thanks. All right, we're going to move on to appointments. To consider approval appointment of Jonathan Tribula for the Recreation Commission.
Council, the Recreation Commission just approved a new commissioner in place of Brian Hanks. He just resigned off the commission, so Jonathan Tribula has been a value community member for ages, and he's a former Kinston High graduate in '97.
Any questions from the council? Nobody?
No, I just wanted to say we want to keep Brian Hanks in prayer. He's been having some medical issues, and he's been a vital part of what we do here in the city of Kinston. Just want to say to his family that we appreciate all that he has done and all that he continues to do, even in this tough time of of illness, he still gets out and try to participate and help get the word out about how the city is doing and a lot of events that happen in our city. So we definitely want to keep him in prayer. And the person we're asking to be appointed is highly qualified and should be considered to be approved for this position.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Okay, at this time, we entertain a motion to approve the appointment. A motion of Jonathan Tribula, motion by Councilmember Lifford, second. Second by Councilmember Hardy. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Seeing none, motion carried. Thank you, Scott. All right. We'll move on down to the city manager's report.
I think I've done enough tonight. So
Okay.
let's move on.
All right. Mr. Attorney. Okay. Council.
I just want to say one thing. The Recreation Department is very busy this time of year. We got girls and boys basketball games at Holloway Center. We got girls flag football on Tuesday and Thursday at BFA Park. So we just want to ask the council members if they can take a minute of their time to come by and say hello to the participants in these sports. It's very important to them that they know we are supporting them. And I want to thank the Recreation Department for continuously finding different things for us to do for our youth. Because a lot of people say there's nothing for the youth to do. It's just about participating. Because our activities are there. And we got softball going on and some baseball still going on. So there are activities out there that you can go and see for yourself that people are participating.
All right, thank you. Sam?
We have our Toastmasters class on the 2nd and the 4th Tuesday of the month. Anybody interested in, it starts at 6 p.m. on Zoom. If you're interested, you can contact me and I can give you the information. And I'd like to add an addition to what Ms. Solomon said. She said that the Lord blessed the elderly and the youth, but he blesses middle-aged people too. I just want to add that in. So, okay.
Thank you, young man.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, just want to share, I met with the Child Fatality Prevention Team this week. And for anyone, while supplies last, please reach out to me if you're in need of any medicine lock boxes, large or small, any cabinet locks, gun cases for handguns, and even rifles, which is something that's very rare when we give out gun cases, lock cases. Also, small pack and plays and car seats.
Thank you. Councilmember Lifford. Right. That's a good one. Ms. Seaforth?
I want to thank everybody for their reports because it takes a lot of time and energy to do it. And the reports are so precise, and I appreciate it.
One last kudos. It's graduation time for most of the children in school. So if we could try to make some graduation to show the children that we're thinking about them during graduation time. And good luck on all your exams.
Great deal. It's a good deal. We'd like to thank all you guys for all your effort working on the budget and trying to help keep the city of Kinston on track. I know sometimes these things get tedious, and sometimes some people have a problem for every solution. So, as we work our way through that. We appreciate all your efforts in making sure that we stay on track. I encourage everybody to go out and support the Juneteenth events, just like we do the Christmas parade. It's our first annual. We want that to be a success, you know. And for those who were here today to express your concerns, just trust and believe that we heard you. And the budget is still a work in progress. And as we work to fine tune it to fit the needs of everybody in Kinston, just know that your concerns didn't fall on deaf ears today. We just was trying to conduct business here. So with that being said, we appreciate everybody that showed up tonight for this important meeting. And at this time, if we don't have anything else, we're going to have to go into closed session and pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A3, attorney-client privilege, and we will.
And you got a second.
And Section 6 for personnel. At this time, I entertain a motion to go into closed session. It's been motioned by Councilmember Lippert, second. Second by Councilmember Hardy. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Seeing none, closed session.
We have some carts for the staff if they want to sleep overnight, so.
Stuck it out.
Okay, Council. At this time, you know, I want to entertain a motion to authorize the manager to pay the city clerk 5% of $33,000, which would amount to $1,650 for additional duties.
Motion.
Got a motion by Councilmember Hardy, second by Councilmember Lippert. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Seeing none, motion carried.
Now you got a recess.
Okay, at this time, I want to entertain a motion to go into recess until June 4th, 2026, Thursday. It's June 4th, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so we got, right. Okay. So, do we have another? On this one, it's June the 4th at 201 North Queen Street, Suite 2A. Entertain a motion to go in there.
Motion.
Motion by Councilmember Hardy, second by Councilmember Lippert. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Seeing none, recess. Good God Almighty. Yes, ma'am. You what?